Right.
Over here? Oh, I was gonna get an energy drink. Second. That's all good.
Oh, you're gonna get an energy drink? Well, you're gonna be doing it live.
All right, we'll
Go
do it
ahead.
live.
Go ahead.
Give the intro though. Like, let's just redo this whole thing. Nothing
All right, we're
happened,
redoing
right?
this whole thing, guys. First, we need to find out if his audio is working, guys. It's live. We're live now. We kind of just spun it up again, but using
All
StreamYard.
right. So
See if you guys
I
can
guess
hear
I'm just gonna
Gerardo.
talk. I'm gonna talk and say a bunch of words right now, and
Ooh.
if the words are properly calibrated in the audio space of our listeners, then drop some numbers like ones and twos and stuff.
This is
Is that
really
how it works?
clear. Oh my gosh, a miracle.
Oh, StreamYard. I
Wait,
told
so it
you it
was
was Zoom,
literally
homie.
Zoom?
Dude, Zoom can do a lot of things that I won't say because it'll just sound really rude.
A lot of things. Okay. Oh
They
my
can go
goodness.
do some things. By the way, you're disrespecting your thumbnail editor.
I know. I don't have time to put all that stuff up. Maybe
Yeah,
my
it's
editor
fine.
can
Okay.
add all that stuff while we're
Okay.
live for me. That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
I think
cool.
he has
So
that
how's it
ability.
going, man?
Whew. Anyway, thanks for showing up again, guys. If you missed the last broadcast, you didn't miss anything because we're gonna talk about the stuff again, but you'll be able to hear it. So get
Didn't miss
excited. This is Gerardo. If you don't know who Gerardo is, it's because he went into a hole for 6 months. Okay.
Mm.
And then he came back out, and now he.
Like,
well, actually, Gerardo's. If you haven't been to lookintohex.com, you're missing out. That was that like your original stuff? Was making charts, is what I remember, is the most amazingest text charts I've ever seen.
thanks, dude. Yeah, that was my first baby in this kind of in the crypto community, like first public piece of work that people really enjoyed, respected. Actually, like it's cool. I like it. Like I like it. When you like your own thing, that's when you know it's good.
Oh my gosh, why is my closet open? 1 second.
Why is your closet
I'm
open?
trolling.
Exposing skeletons. But yeah, man. I want to give a shout out to Wave 3 actually. I don't know if I say this enough, but he's actually the one who had the domain lookintohex.com. And I was just like, I was looking for a cool domain for my sites, and I was being public about that. Like, yo, I need help building the site. I'm gonna make this, blah blah. And he was just like, yeah, you want this domain? So for those who don't know, like Wave 3 is the
oh, I remember him. He's still around.
Of that domain.
He hangs out with whales, right?
Who?
Web3, or what's it?
Oh,
what
Wave 3.
Wave
Wave 3.
I meant to say. Yeah.
He used to hang out with the whole like. They used to have like a show, man, like the Knights Table or something, Round Table. I think it was him. Dollar Cost. I can't remember, but it was one of the like OG like shows, you know.
Yeah, I remember. Good stuff. I think he was on shows with like whales, and you've been on shows with him too?
Whales?
Well, Wave 3.
Probably.
Yeah, that's
yeah, but people are saying if they don't know who I am, you're not a hex skin. No, I mean that's not true. Like a lot of people just are coming in, but
well, you've been working
go
so
there
hard. You've been working like real hard behind the scenes, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot. I've been learning a lot. Oh yeah, we're gonna repeat this because the audio was wrecked earlier. So
that's right. Yeah, I'm just bringing it up again naturally.
Totally. Probably should or not probably. Yeah, I've been learning a lot, man. It's been a steep learning curve. By no means an expert in any of this stuff, but like we were talking about, kind of becoming a generalist. But then you mentioned within a niche, so it's kind of interesting, right? Crypto is like a small niche within the larger environment, and then within there's so much to learn. So like, do you specialize or do you generalize? But it's already such a specific thing. But yeah, building an NFT marketplace is no small feat. You have to learn about a lot of things. We touched on IPFS as a great way for distributed file sharing, so you can get past that whole is it still hosted on the internet kind of thing for NFTs. I mean, yeah, there is a lot of learning to do, but it's coming along. I would say we're way closer to a public beta than we were even just a month ago or two, and I've largely attributed this to Hex Live for joining the team as freaking rock star developer on the back end.
For sure, dude. There are some people in this community, they like reach out, like my editor, and he has a friend and they're just amazing guys who we talk on Discord. And he was like, "Yo, dude, I love your content. I love to help you out." And he did some awesome video editing stuff, and it just looked amazing. And so I was like, "Well, hire these guys."
Yeah.
They're doing amazing work, and you need people kind of who are already in the ecosystem to work with you. Otherwise, you have to explain everything in crypto to them, or they don't know what to find to edit stuff well, or at least for editing purposes. It's try and get a normal editor guy and then tell him like, oh, he doesn't know what stuff is smart to clip. They don't know, but my editors are
cool. I
like
was actually
really
thinking
good.
about that this morning. I want to get a guy to clip my YouTube stuff for shorts. For YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
I need that. Anyone out there? I'm probably just gonna go on Fiverr, honestly, because anyone here offering to will probably overcharge. But yeah, it's
hey,
thanks for the reminder,
they're all
bro.
hexagons trying to buy the dip,
Hey, you know what? It's true.
They're like, yo,
true. It might
Gerardo,
be a better deal.
hand me that dough so I can buy the dip too.
There you go. Thumbnail fixed. Nice. I'm reading your chat. You should be reading your chat. I love the chat. Motley saying it was called the Knights of Crypto. Wave 3 is on another team now, working on some other stuff. He's the man. Yup. I dropped off the map after I started working on Mintra. Yes, I kind of did.
Brazology is always slamming me, dude. Anyway, he's like, look at K4K. Yep, it's been a bear market. I purposefully am looking grizzly. It's the most hair I've ever had on my face in my life. I'm just trying it out, but I have an excuse because I'm not shaving it till Pulsechain launches. So who knows?
It's
who knows what
bold,
that will
man.
be.
It's bold. Someone said no.
Go ahead.
Someone said no sound. They're probably trolling because it's like one person, but it's just
mic check.
I got PTSD now, bro.
I do. Me too. I get this bad feeling in my stomach when there's no sound.
When is Vegas? I think it starts on the 5th or the 6th. Because there's stuff going. It's whenever, man. Like you can go right now if you want. I'm sure there are people there, but like the majority, the density of people is probably going to be like the 4th through the 10th. Would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be there 4th through the 10th exactly. So if you want,
there you go.
If you were hoping I was going to be there, I am going to be there. Gerardo is going to be there, right?
Yes.
Gerardo. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. I had to see Gerardo last time. We didn't really get to talk that much because all the ladies were fighting me away to get with him. So, had to wait in line to talk to him.
I was the opposite. We're busy with your new friends.
Wait. There's something with the audio. Unironically. Like, what does my video and audio look like on your side?
No, hold on. No. All is good with sound. We can hear. Sound is fine. Sound is perfect. Y'all sound great. No, we're good. We're good.
Oh, well, it was wrecked for like a few seconds. Okay. Anyway, during my joke, I guess.
Okay, Motley's been slamming me about this rainbow. When will I fix the hex rainbow chart, sir? Okay. So you're talking about
colors. Add more colors to the rainbow. It's easy.
Honestly, bro, it's about refitting. It's about refitting the model. And I have my what you can call it. I actually hired an analyst for this a while back, like to do the equations. And if you go on it now, it's not like it's completely wrecked. Like price has gone about 50% beneath the lowest curve. But then again, if you look at it, price has also gone above the highest curve. You can share the screen if you want to pull it up. I'd actually enjoy that. But
which screen?
Look into hex.com, the very final tab, the 6th one, logarithmic regression.
Oh, let me see if I can pull that up.
I can try it. Like,
yeah, does it let you do it? Go ahead.
Do
I have to switch it to like we're both looking at it?
Share screen, window, boom. That work?
Oh, I see it. Add to stream. Boom. Oh, looking good. Is it lagging on the stream for you guys? Because it's lagging, looking like. But
yeah,
looks good though.
Are we back?
Dang, dude. Need one more ribbon down there.
Precisely. But then you know what's funny, bro, is that no one cries if it goes above pink.
Nobody complains when the price is up.
But notice, statistically speaking, the majority of price action has been within the rainbow. Not 100%, maybe not even like 95. maybe like 80 plus 85, just like visually, just naked eye. I would guess maybe
Mhm.
80 to 90% of price action is within this rainbow. And it can be fit to bend over even more, but then at that point you have more of the bottom data being in the rainbow, but the top data kind of starts falling out. So it's kind of like a
Mm.
balance, and then the projection starts getting like really really low, which it's possible that it might just really slow down, but it's and then something I kind of really want to do is do logarithmic regression on the shared chart because it's slightly upshifted.
Oh, I didn't know I could show messages in chat. I've always been wanting to do that.
StreamYard, bro, I'm
There's a
telling
red
you.
squirrel. Wow, that is so nice.
Yeah, man.
Only up from here. Well, yeah, we're we're at the lows. Dude,
Potentially.
some crypto down 95% is like the dream if it's the right crypto. People bought Ethereum at $88 and it went to 5K. Like, but there's things that did better than that. Hex has been down 86% before, and then what did we do 100x from there? From that from the big
Right.
payday dip? I'm not sure how much up we went from there, but it was probably more.
Oh, you mean from end of big payday, fifth of a penny, all the way up to 56 cents?
Yeah, yeah. How much was
It was
that?
200x
200x, double it. Oh my
versus the
goodness.
USD. But if you look at the Hex BTC chart, it's really interesting. It was about like an 80x, and the previous cycle was about 100x. So it's actually, if you look at the USD cycles, you're like, oh, the second one was way more intense. But then if you look at it versus BTC, it was actually slightly diminished. Yeah. So
Dude, Motley is amazing as
he
well.
is, man. Yeah.
Dude,
Demanding excellence. Yeah.
I'm so like when he talks, he was on the Hexologist show like a week
Yeah.
or two ago. Dude, the guy just talks like mad alpha as if he's just like just thinking about his day. It's like, yeah, well, this is how it's gonna be. There's that, and I'm like, dude, he's not wrong. What is that? I love Motley.
Yeah. He's
So
lit.
good. But yeah, I hope
Yeah. Super. Yeah.
I
Super
didn't really
smart.
get to see Motley much in Vegas last time, even at the
Yeah.
party, because I don't know. It was kind of a big party, so it was hard to see everybody. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think, and people like they move around in their groups around the town and stuff like that, which is cool. Yeah, I
There's this
love to have a
meetup, then people are eating over here, and then there's this party, and then people
yeah.
are just chilling, and like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, it's chaotic fun basically.
there you go.
It's like, where are you guys going tonight? Oh, I don't know. We were gonna go with these guys to this place. And it's like, no, I'm going with you guys. All right, sounds like fun. It was a good time. I think anyone who comes will have a good time.
I agree. So in terms of this chart, I mean, what would be this like the move? Because like I want to listen to the feedback, like what Motley's saying and whatnot. Demanding like what does excellence mean? Does it mean just more of the data within the model? Does it mean, if so, I mean you could add a band above and below. To be fair, like you can see that initial data is above pink. Like, is that what you guys want? Could do that.
I think I guess he just wants it refit, or he
Yeah,
wants people to know
refit.
about it. I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
how does the math work? I mean, if it's too complicated, we don't have to do it. But like, how does it
How do
draw
you
these
wait?
lines? You know, it's kind of important information.
Quite. So this was a tough equation to get. That's why I was like trying for a long time. I eventually got help from an outside analyst.
You wait one sec. You might want to move your mic a little bit closer because when you're looking to your left, the mic's farther away.
Oh yeah. I said I got some help from an outside analyst because I was honestly stumped on this one for a super long time.
Hmm.
But the equation is simply what you call it. So I mean it is, I don't know if people want to get into it, but the equation is y equals e to the quantity a natural log of quantity x plus b plus c. So it's like
Okay, never mind, dude. No one is gonna understand anything that you're saying. Okay, I thought it was gonna be like, well, I don't know. I was hoping it would be more understandable.
right. No, it's really, really not.
But
Yeah.
do other people use this
People say it's
chart for
Rex.
their own stuff, or is this just for Hex?
People use logarithm regression for Bitcoin. That's where I got the idea, actually, the rainbow chart on Bitcoin and on Ethereum. And funny enough, on Ethereum goes above and beneath it. So like, I don't know. Honestly, at this point, people are just complaining to complain. I think people are complaining, but
So have you had time to
sorry, Molly.
research? Have you
Um,
had time to research every single new thing that's being built around Hex, like all the tokens, Maximus, the that team plus the Hedron team,
since you're naming
and
them all, yes, I'm aware of more of Hedron, I'm aware of Icosa, I'm aware of Watson, I'm aware of Maximus, Team, Base, freaking Dodeca,
yeah,
PP, freaking like, bro, it's
it's.
shitcoin galore.
I
People
mean,
are so impatient for Pulsechain, and it's like, all right, what do? We already did this. We did the trading, done. We did this, done. We did okay. Now shitcoin launching time. Like, you're just boring,
yeah. I
man.
mean, I think people they see that like,
But
oh, sacrifice phase. I just make something, and then people send lots of money. It's kind of like ICO phase, but I
yes,
do think
I'm
there
I'm
are
being a little too
some.
harsh.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are just like I don't know. I don't know which one I can point out exactly because I think some of those that we said like are more legit than others.
Yes,
And
I
Richard
agree.
even
I agree.
talks well of Hedron, and he said the
Yeah,
code
yeah.
looked
That's
good.
one of
That's
them.
a pretty
Yeah,
big words from the big man. Like to say he looked at the code and the code looked good, but of course, he's not going to tell people to ever buy it. But
of course, of
he'll
course.
it is adding functionality. Like we know, like Hex is better than Bitcoin in certain ways because it has more functionality, or Ethereum is better than Bitcoin in certain ways because it has more functionality or more options that people want that Bitcoin doesn't have. Like it doesn't have stable coins, it doesn't have privacy,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
stuff like that.
Doesn't
Well,
have on-chain derivatives. Like, no. You're 100% right. And
and
I was a little
so
too quick to call like all these
me
things
too.
shitcoins and bucket
I'll
them. Like,
I'll admit it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm looking out for the community when I'm doing that. I'm not like I don't want anyone to know about these other
Oh,
projects just so I can get in them or anything like that. It's like I trust Richard and his team more than any other team. I don't care like what their intentions are. What is it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. So I'm like,
good
I'm
quote.
not gonna jump the gun getting people into something that I mean
Yeah.
it's there's so many things to look into and you only have so much time in a day. It's like, oh, K4K crypto, you make YouTube videos, you should be looking into every single coin and telling us about it. It's like, dude, do you know how many things I get bombarded with per day to look at? And
Yeah.
I am realizing that a lot more of the respected people in the community are into some of these projects, and so I am looking into these as well, and I did look into them previously somewhat. um and I do think some of these I got to keep doing my research, but whew, it's looking bullish. I'm not gonna lie. On like
Nice.
it's like I feel the rumblings coming. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, what are we building here, guys? This might be a little too good. Like
Yeah.
when Richard talked about this vertically aligned ecosystem and how he designed Hex originally, with he allowed people to build on top of it. They didn't have to do that. You could have just left it Hex. You can't interact with the contract with another contract or anything like that. So they could have done something like that, and then it would just be Hex. But obviously, he saw the vision of people building on top of it, or eventually him doing it himself, and so people are now building on top of it, and it all does seem to lead back to pumping Hex price. So
Yeah. I
that's
mean, that's
kind
the
of what
beauty
I'm
of
finding.
Ethereum and these other EVMs. Like everything's composable, right? If you have a contract and you have a public function that you can just call, like any other contract you write or build can call these other public functions and all just like plays with each other. It's Legos, right?
Mhm.
Financial Legos. But
It's
no,
so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, I'm gonna say it 3, 4, 5 times, as many times as necessary. I do think Hedron is a good a project, right? I think it's a positive. I think it brings more good than bad. I like Hedron. Icosa's cool. Maxi's cool. The other ones I mentioned, I don't know much about, or I don't necessarily like them. But for the most part, those are the ones that I would put my name behind in terms of like, oh, the concept, the utilities there, right? Whether it's and they both have similar utilities if you think about it. They want to bring instant liquidity to hex stakes.
Yeah, and yeah, but it's in a way where the hex or whatever is still locked away the whole time.
It
So
is.
they had to buy hex or whatever to set it up. And so even though it's like
Yeah.
liquid, so the only fear I have but it might be remedied by something created in the future, which is just like, okay, more game over for the rest of crypto. But people can, with Hex, you were locked in for years and you're like, oh, I'm not getting my principal out till halfway through.
Yep.
That's it. Like you were like, we're all in. And that's what most of us early guys were all about. We got the normal Hex stakes, right? And these new people, if they get in these other projects, they can still sell the entire time, pretty much. Like if you just get like Maximus or something like that, you can just sell it, and then you're like, oh, you weren't really locked up in something. But they're coming out with new other things. You can put those things in, and it locks that up, and so you actually are locked in. And so it's like double locking your hex or something. It and so you can stay liquid or not liquid now, which is interesting. And there's like premiums on this stuff. It's really interesting. I'm really impressed with the quality. Because if Richard's saying the code is good, I'm like, well, this guy knows the most about anything in crypto, in my opinion. So I'm going with that guy.
Yeah, true, man.
Like I have no shame in it. This guy trounces everybody he's ever live streamed with who doubted him. So
yeah.
I don't know how much more convincing you can get than live debate. You know?
Yeah.
Like I know there's rhetoric involved and stuff, but like I've even seen him. Have you seen him like battling this professor on crypto on Twitter? And the guy is just he's wrecking this guy, and the guy is like
he finally
like, teaches people about crypto, and Richard's like, no, dude, you got it wrong. And he's a professor, and so he's teaching professors in his free time. Oh my gosh. Like easily the guy like sends him a math problem and Richard solves it. The guy who made the problem got it wrong. Richard like had to tell him. It was
correct, bro.
Crazy, dude.
Potato IQ. That's what I call Twitter.
And that's the risky thing is there's these people who get into this like position of authority and they just keep getting either they teach you stuff that doesn't help you win, which is effectively wasting your time. Like Richard says, learning more about blockchain doesn't make you rich. You don't actually get more wealthy by knowing more about it. You get wealthy by buying the thing that goes up the most. The buying and holding is what gets you the gains.
Unless you're Richard, then you know a ton about blockchains. You can build a team and you build Pulse, and you know, like for a specific, unique edge case like him, it helps. But for most, for 99.9999% of people that aren't going to be founders of something, don't even.
No, that's true,
bro.
That's true.
Just for founders, they're the unique edge cases. But back to I don't know too much about.
Said that since the beginning, though. Founders and holders win is basically how it goes.
aka market makers.
Well, founders of exchanges. And I guess if you're a market maker, you know, but I mean, we saw how those market makers do get wrecked as well. Like 3 Arrows Capital wrecked.
Well, I mean, like wrecked, like an OA type entity where you're providing liquidity or something and creating like these walls, doing all this stuff. Like I think Silver published something saying that the OA made like $250,000 in fees just from that Hedron Hex cell wall. So it's like, oh, that's smart.
Oh wow, just in fees.
Yeah, just in
and fees. It got the Hedron for free. But I mean, he enabled all this to happen.
You got all
this dude's like Omega, like what's a 250K to that guy?
It's a nice little rolly. I don't know.
I think he has different intentions than to like, I guess, just get fees. But
no, for sure, but
yeah, that just goes to show how much the guy understands all this. That's happening with funds that we don't know who controls it, but he probably knows who does. Would be my guess.
Yeah, probably. But in terms of, I haven't looked into team and base much, although I do like Maxi. I wanted to finish up that thread on saying,
good.
Like a thought, a concept. I don't think a lot of people talk about, or anyone. I haven't heard anyone talk about it for that matter. But it brings liquidity to it, but it helps the hex price because the liquidity pool of Maxi to hex, for example, there's less hex in there than the hex that was actually staked and locked away. Right, so like 290 million hex was staked and locked away, And sure, you have instant liquidity for these stakes, but like you said, it's not really liquid because the hex is locked away via the
Right.
rules of the contract. As long as
Yeah,
there's not 298 million hex
you're right.
liquidity in that pool against Maxi, then Maxi's good for hex. And
Yep.
there's not that much liquidity. I promise you, there's like 100x less.
Yeah, because then if someone
like
goes
4
to
million.
buy hex, they have to use a new hex, and they're getting a worse deal than those other people. So they have to spend more hex and get less maxi because there's
There you
only
go.
so much liquidity there. Because a lot of people probably just want to hold their maxi or put it in something that's not a liquidity pool. So people have to spend more hex to get this thing that's locked away hex. I want to understand it so well so I can break it down into like almost a 2-minute video. Because
Yeah.
like I've been telling people, they're like, oh, why don't you talk about this, and this? And I'm like, dude, you just realized you rattled off like 4 or 5 different projects that need different interactions that you have to understand all the background information on to know that it's safe first. Then you have to wonder about the game
Yeah.
mechanics and the game theory of like, will this work out? Is it a Ponzi built? Like, so you're like, you don't want to send people down the wrong paths too soon. And so, but I'm also thinking about all these onboards that are coming in, or like my parents, or friends and family who are like, oh, what's this? They barely get hex, dude. Like, how are they gonna get all this other stuff? And so I've been focusing on
Oh
just
God. Yeah.
normal outreach, get people into hex. They can learn about it from other people's channels. I think, you know, until I understand it so well that I can break it down in like a video or two. In like a few minutes, because it just seems like a lot, and we are in crypto like full time, right? Like full time crypto guys, and we don't have enough time to learn about it. It's like there's just a
Fair,
lot
bro.
of things going on.
Fair.
I imagine someone with like a normal 9 to 5 trying to learn about Hedron, Icosa, Watsa, Maximus. It's like, good luck, dude. Like, how are you gonna learn all this and not get wrecked? Because they do the
Mhm.
same research on other stuff that we probably don't even talk about because we know it's a scam, but they don't. And so they might do the research and get wrecked on that stuff. So I try not to
Yeah.
promote things that I don't have full confidence in, like, but I do have full confidence in
Well,
Richard's stuff.
that's a trait of a smart, ethical person. What you're talking about right here, which I notice is like you don't want to talk about stuff until you're an expert. And Richard talks about that all the time. Like he's not about to talk about something until he can school you on it.
That's
Like
right.
it's
Mhm.
respectable, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so can you go into the? I don't know if you want to or you don't know. Yeah.
Rubbing the beard won't make it grow. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, come on! Stop wrecking me
What do you want me to
live.
get into?
What's up?
What did you want me to get into?
Oh, I'd like to learn more about Mintra because
Talk to me.
I want to know. I know you guys have a little bit, like a few lines of game theory on potential stuff
Mm.
on your site. I haven't checked it in a while, so maybe that's changed.
Yeah.
But can you give me the lowdown on it, or is it not like
Yeah.
available yet?
No, the stuff that is available is pretty. It's already out there. It's already public and has been talked about and used as like a value prop talking point for a while. It's okay. So you
Or
have
buy and burn, as far as I know, right?
you have OpenSea and you have LooksRare. Have you heard of LooksRare actually?
Yeah, I just think of it as another OpenSea. Is there a
It's
difference?
another OpenSea. There's a difference actually. So with LooksRare, you can actually stake their native token and receive some portion of the fee revenue that they generate,
Hmm.
right? And so it's more a model. It's more
Did their
like that,
token do
right?
well?
Um. Here's the fun part. No, let me tell you why. They gave it away
Okay.
for free.
Oh.
Token
So there's no like base
distribution.
price
Who
for
gets
it?
the coins? There you go. Who gets the coins is very, very important.
True.
Very important. Who gets the coins? Just look at Bitcoin Cash, right?
I was literally about to say
Who
look at
got those
Bcash
coins?
because I was like,
Look at
they gave it
BCH,
to
bro.
everybody for free, wrecked forever.
Doomed forever.
Forever.
Down to the right,
There's
forever,
another
bro.
140K Bitcoin Cash going to be sold by the Mt. Gox. So
There you go.
not only
So,
is Bitcoin
anyways,
wrecked, Bitcoin Cash is wrecked because they give it for free. It's extra wrecked.
token distribution model, very important. Who gets coins? Very important. You want incentives to be aligned. Incentive alignment, huge. And for people who have skin in the game, most likely people who sent to an address with no expectations. Those are good people to uh, airdrop free valueless tokens to. So there's a mint ticker that can be staked and can receive fee revenue that goes through the platform. And that's going to be not ETH, right, but PLS, because network fees or the platform fees that Mintra will have will be denominated in the same currency as the network fees, aka PLS. There's a small nuance in that when you unstake and pull your rewards, you actually receive wrapped pulse, but that's unless you're like really technical about it, you don't really care about that because you can just go unwrap it on PulseX. It's similar to like the Luxor guys received wrapped Ethereum.
At all.
It's not a problem. It's just wrapped tokens act better when interacting with other ERC20 contracts and stuff like that. I think Ethereum is like what, an ERC2 or something? It's on ERC20.
Ethereum itself?
I think so. But yeah.
So basically, you get a revenue share of the platform for staking the mint sticker. Yes, did you call it a sticker?
Ticker.
Oh, ticker. Oh my gosh.
Ticker.
I was
token,
like, stickers. Right. Is that like they have NFTs that you stake now? I was getting all into it. Okay.
No. You just stake mint. It's gonna be a PRC20. Receive pulse. Pretty simple.
Right.
Stake mint. Receive pulse.
So basically, revenue share and so it's revenue share. Does some of that go to buying the price up on the market and burning it?
Yes.
On top of them also getting revenue share, it also pushes the price up. Is it? And that's two separate things.
So is it? I'm sorry. What?
And that's two separate things. So you get paid in wrapped pulse for some of the revenue share, but then also some of the other revenue share that is also used to buy up mint. Is that how it works? Okay, so it buys up mint, and you also get paid in pulse. Now that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So the fee is competitive against OpenSea. It's 2.25% versus their 2.5%, and of that, so you have 1% fee.
You guys should just do the thing that Richard did, where he was like, you know how they Uniswap is 3.3, and he was just like, well, it was funny because I was in the Telegram with him, and I said, why don't we just do 0.1 less than Uniswap so that we can say that we have the cheapest DEX fees over here or whatever, or cheaper than Uniswap, at least we could say, because that's the most well-known name. Saying you're cheaper than PancakeSwap, most people don't even know what that is, so useless to say. And then he was like, I just had the exact same thought, and then so that's what they went with, and so I thought that was pretty cool. So maybe you're leaving some percentage points on the table for all that if you could just undercut them a little bit, even though that is like 0.25, but or point.
Oh yeah.
0.25.
I see what you're saying. A quarter percent.
So you're cheaper than OpenSea, and it's like, well, you can say it, but it is actually cheaper. Because those little points matter for the long term, you know.
Yeah.
Like that can be like, oh man, if we would have raised it by another bit, we would have made another 100 mil. Like it could be that big, you know. Like over time, I can't wait for PulseX, dude. I think people, they're getting shaken out in the bear market. You can tell by how, I mean, definitely all the infighting. I guess that doesn't help. People get more upset in bear markets, I think, than bull markets. Nobody's upset like at all-time highs, like you said this about the coin and it's higher now. It's like no one's even talking about that. They're all just rejoicing. But you know, people fight in the bear market, people leave. Less people are watching videos on crypto because they're shaken out and they hate crypto now, which I don't disagree with those people, because some people got into Luna. Some people got into Celsius with all of their money, and they're like, 7%, I'm a genius, I figured it out. They tell their friends to get into Celsius. They never found anybody in Hex who told them that's a scam. So they got wrecked, and that was their experience in crypto. Hopefully they find the light one day.
Hopefully they find the light. Hopefully they find this stream and all our wonderful shillings.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to ramp up as much content as possible to get out there. That's my thing I'm trying to do for the community, is just get as much good information out there. We have to combat the 10 points of effort of bad information out there with our like 1 point of good effort to try and fight all the scammers out there. But luckily, the downside of those guys being, I guess, not the guys, but the projects and stuff that go to zero that aren't built right, is that people hopefully learn from that and go and look for something else that doesn't have those same properties, you know. So eventually it all comes back to, all right, Celsius, things like it are a scam. All right, SafeMoon, that's a scam. Bitcoin, that's too slow, doesn't pump. Ethereum, probably won't pump as much anymore. Oh, what's this Hex thing? And once you get into Hex, you don't just leave, right? You're in. And so we just keep amassing people like, another one. Another one keeps joining. And then we get all these awesome people in our community who are super smart and helpful. And we all just kind of want to make a big difference in the world, is how I feel about everyone in this community. How about you? Did we just crash? Hello? Wait, I don't hear you. Oh, this guy says 100%. I can't hear you, Gerardo. Calling Starlink. Brother just froze on us. I'm here. Okay, I couldn't tell because like all my sound was like muted in my room, and I'm like, am I live? I guess I am. But let me see if Gerardo messaged me. Maybe in Telegram. Sorry, guys. Oh, just your boy. Let me see if Gerardo is you need a new invite? Actually, this one should work. Once he's back in the green room, I'll invite him. All right, I'll answer some questions in the chat if you guys have any questions. Did have a play on Hex price also. True. Yeah, think about, what was that? I think there was it $600 million worth? I think it was $600 million worth of Hex. Don't quote me on that. 600 million of Hex was just like sent to that contract, or the address for the Pulsechain sacrifice and the Pulsec sacrifice combined. And we know that entity has never sold a Hex, so effectively removing it from supply. And what do we know about less supply and equal demand or increasing? Price go up. Hex prediction 2025. I hope the number fits on the screen. That'd probably be too soon for that kind of price machine. Does everyone want private chat? Oh, he's here. Add to stream. Yeah, what's up? I hope you're not waiting too long. I did look.
No, it was like a minute.
Okay. What happened? Starlink didn't come in?
I don't know. No, man, I haven't hooked it up. I told you, right?
Dude, put the dish up. Show everyone the dish. I think you only showed them on the last stream.
Dish. You're right.
Oh
yeah, this needs to be outside facing the north sky. Except my cheap ass little apartment balcony only has south sky view.
Oh, what a rip.
You know what? We'll figure it out. Move soon or something. All I heard was like price go up and to the right. That's when I came into the stream.
Oh, someone said something along the lines of there's lots of Hex that got sent basically through Pulsechain and Pulsec sacrifices that helped the price. So, and I was just like, yeah, that was, I think, wasn't there like $600 million worth of Hex sent? That's what I thought in my head. I haven't, like, I've made videos so long ago where like I had things all figured out, and I just haven't gone back, and I honestly, the videos are sometimes better than what I know right now. It's like how Richard says his book is better than him, because I'm like, some days I'm deep into it, dude. I'm reading everything, I'm learning everything, and I'm trying to come up with the best way to describe it to someone who wouldn't understand it so they can understand it. And like, I'll be all in on that day, maybe a week or so, and then 5 months later, like, you ask me what I said in that video, I won't know what you're talking about. So
I feel that.
There's just so much stuff happening in crypto. Like in a month, like 5 projects could launch that are helping Hex, and you're like, well, okay, I got to learn about all this stuff, but also manage all these videos and make sure content keeps coming. And I'm trying to ramp it up too, because doing it all by myself, I was definitely running into roadblocks.
Yeah.
For like how to keep getting content out there, because you can't just keep making a brand new content video every single day. Like you just run out of like the interesting, useful stuff. So like some of my best videos are from way back when, describing and explaining things, and so that's what I have my editors cooking up and dishing it out. Because I would do like hour-long streams, and nobody has time for hour-long streams usually. So then the value is being able to cut it up and redistribute that across all the platforms. So easily digestible.
1 hour long piece of content can get you like 3 dozen shorts, TikToks, clips for stories. Like it's important. Like no one has time to be making all these individual clips necessarily, so it's better to have an editor like that. But yeah, same dude. Sometimes I look back on my old content and I'm like, that dude's smart. Like he sounds smarter than like how I feel right now, and I'm like, wow,
dude, that's how I feel.
And the figure's like, yeah, let's get
oh
this
my
on audio. Actually, hold on. Oh yeah, I know someone just really enjoyed that right now. But yeah, no, I mean, I remember the figures of the SAC. It was like 670 million, I believe, dollars before the OA entered.
That was
for
for
a Pulse
chain, yeah.
And then they dropped like 14 Bs worth of Hex, and then for like $14 billion, which was like how much Hex? Probably like close to 100 billion Hex or something crazy. And then Pulse X sacrifice got to basically $1 billion USD before the OA, and then they dropped like 60 or something crazy. Like half of the supply, half of the Hex supply, I think, was sacked or something stupid for Pulse X.
Yeah, it was a lot. Here, 1 second. Oh, we're streaming at the exact same time as Hexologist.
Oh man,
didn't know that. I got a mod Motley while he's in here. 1 second. Add moderator. Boom. Monica, you can be one as well. Dude, Monica's been here since like the beginning of my. And oh my, I actually just remembered because some guy just did a donation. There was a guy who donated on the last stream, and I didn't get to read it because we closed it down. So that guy, please like at K4K in the chat, and so I can read what your donation was before, because I do feel terrible about that. So I'm gonna read this. Oh, I've heard this name before. Cognitive Living Room. Question K4K, but it's really for Richard Hart. Well, I'm not Richard Hart. After creating Hex, Pulsex, and hopefully a new soft wallet, do you think Richard Hart consider to merge or consolidate all of them into one coin? No. Things do different things. Like Hex is uneditable. It's not like you can't ever combine it. You can't even stake your Ethereum Hex in the Pulsechain Hex contract because it only accepts its native coin. So like you're not even getting that cross synergy. I've gotten that question a lot too, where people are wondering if you're able to stake your Hex from one chain and the other chain's staking contract. No, you cannot. And so I do not think he will combine them all. I think it'll be an ecosystem. Like it's going to be a new financial ecosystem, and it may not look anything like we had with the normal banking system. It might be this. It's going to be different. I'll tell you that. It's decentralizing finance. It's really cool. Like we're in the midst of it right now. We're like, it's not fully figured out yet, but Hex kind of already won. Like we already won, and we're just building the rest of the infrastructure to make it all like a super walled garden of winning. And so, yeah, I think
I love that.
Stick with this ecosystem and you'll do well. Not financial advice, never here. Yeah.
Super walled garden of winning. That's a tweet, bro. No, I'm serious. I like that. So what's up with the incentive token? I have no idea, bro.
Who asked that?
2.6.
Oh, there we go. What's up with it? Yeah, dude. I wonder if Richard's like been working with the devs, or the devs are figuring. Maybe I'll ask the devs. Maybe I'll ask them, because I wonder too. I figured it was just gonna be. It's just like Pancake, where it just inflates and it's a reward. And the reason you'd want it, even though it gets minted constantly and given to certain pools, is there's going to be a pool that rewards you in way more of itself. Like you'll get way more incentive token if you provide liquidity for the incentive token and say Pulse or something, and then it'll have a huge bonus on how much of the inflation token you'll get, or incentive token. My
Similar.
bad.
It's an inflationary incentive token. Yeah.
It is, and
Yeah.
I mean, it just greases the wheels. It doesn't.
token.
Every coin he creates doesn't have to be better than the last. It just has
Right.
to all help each other. It's like, yeah, you don't need
Yeah.
everything to be the new best thing. It just has to all work together.
Yeah. And I mean, some inflationary tokens do really, really well. Bitcoin is just an inflationary token.
Ethereum,
Fine,
inflationary token.
Ethereum.
You guys hear about Ethereum? Here's pretty good. Here, did a 16,000x.
Hex is inflationary. Fun fact.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like
inflationary tokens do fine, bro.
Not like Richard's changed the game so much for the people in the communities, like or the people who only know Richard Hart, where they're like, "Wait, it inflates? That's a scam." It's like, no, dude. Like most cryptos inflate. The U.S. dollar inflates. Like it's a proven system that works. I'm curious how this only going down thing works. Like only gets more rare. What do you think that does for price, guys? If the inflating things can like do 16,000x, what do you think a non-inflating thing can do? What is that? It's so ridiculous. Like I just get hyped up thinking about it.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know if you've ever seen a whole ecosystem, a whole chain where the general ethos is like we like deflationary tokenomics. You know, because if you notice, that's kind of the undertone of all of these projects being built on Pulsex, even Mintra, right? Deflationary. Even like Hedron has like deflationary and inflationary mechanics. So on any given day, it's like one or the other is 50-50. But
right, like, I think the initial
this chain's about to go off, dude.
It is. I think why they did inflationary models for so long was to get users. It was a way to get people onboarded, a cheap way, because you could do this other thing that wasn't technically buying the thing. It was, oh, I'm doing this other work and I get this in reward. And it's just a cool thing, I guess. People got onboarded that way. Like Richard, instead of just buying coins at, what does he say? I know it went up to $30 and made the top, but like I think it went back down to $2. But he was mining at 50 cents. Imagine if he bought at 50 cents. That guy would own the world. It's like
more money.
That's an exaggeration, but like obviously buying at that time with the amount of money he had would have been astronomically way better than mining. And so we're literally removing mining. The way that Richard Hart got into Bitcoin and crypto in general is being removed from his new ecosystem. Doesn't even think it's worth keeping. So we're doing proof of stake. Way better.
I think that whole like inflationary thing that was going on in crypto for a long time was taking away the power from, it was like the first time the user became the Fed in a way. It's like, oh, it's this money printing thing that's going on.
Yes.
Like, oh, let's do that. We can beat you at your own game. Let's start printing our own money and choose
That's
who
what
gets
we're
it.
doing.
Like, we get to program into the rules who gets it. And then Bitcoin was the first iteration of that. And then we realized over time, like, miners getting it, probably not the best. Like, okay, let's have the people who hold up the price get, like, things just innovate, get better over time. But
what? That is so true. Yeah. People becoming the Fed themselves. So true.
And then realizing the Fed wasn't doing the best tokenomics.
Yeah. Yeah, the miners being the Fed is
mining. Later, y'all.
Get them out of here. It's.
Do you think there's gonna be a whole thing with the ETH miners when they try to transition to proof of stake? You think they're gonna be contentious, try to fork off, and you think they're gonna go to ETC? Like,
oh, are you talking about the proof of stake, proof of
work?
Ethereum?
ETH2, yeah.
I mean,
Solution, nice.
It's like I should care more, but it's
I don't know.
It's like I almost don't even think about like Ethereum's like what they're doing, because once we have
Yeah,
Pulsechain, we don't need them anymore.
true. The only reason it's in my headspace is I have people in some of my chats asking things like, "Oh, do you think they're gonna
Get
fork
free
system state,
coins or
give
whatever.
us free coins? So now we're gonna have proof of work hex, proof of stake hex, and then pulse chain hex." It's like maybe. And then do we know if pulse chain is gonna fork like which system state, like proof of stake, proof of work, both? Like
It's really,
I'm
we won't know
no.
this super detailed until someone who is in the thick of it comes out with like, yo, it's definitely gonna be a proof of work chain at this block height. Then we can start talking about it, because like right now it's just kind of, people are like, well, obviously it's gonna fork, hard fork when it goes to proof of stake, so there's gonna be this other chain, and people are just wondering if those coins will have any value. So yeah, I definitely think proof of work is gonna go back, like they're gonna lose to proof of stake. Vitalik's on the team for proof of
You're
stake,
so right, man. You're
and
so
there's just
right,
less negative
actually.
externality in their system, so they should just win by default, because they don't have to sell as much, and they're going to be they might even become deflationary. They've already had, last I checked, in Ethereum since EIP 1559,
Yep.
they've had over 1,000 days, or not days, blocks that were actually made the currency deflationary. Like the total supply like went down. They were like, oh, we burned so much that we actually had like a deflationary, because there were so many gas fees and people were paying so much Ethereum or whatever that was being burnt, they like burned more than that was generated in that block or something like that. So they had 1,000 of those.
Yeah.
And eventually when they go to proof of stake, it's going to be like a tenth of the miner payout that used to be to the stakers. And so there's way less inflation. And if they get a lot of use again, that those same 1,000 blocks, there's going to be like 1,000 more of those, because there's way less inflation per day. So that there may be a deflationary Ethereum in the future. So Ethereum's still not terrible to hold. I think it's a pretty solid pick. Like if you want to keep crypto, because it just outperforms Bitcoin. Yeah, outperforms it.
There you go.
So hold that. Pulsechain, PulseX, Mintra seems pretty good. I like. Oh, here's a cool one. Since you're in the NFT space, obviously you're basically an NFT guy if you're running a platform for it, right? So,
sure.
What do you think about Richard Hart's biggest diamond NFT?
Oh, I like the idea, man. Like,
how many are you gonna get? There's only 5,555, maybe.
I get one.
But think about that. Think about that supply.
Yeah.
Only 5,000. When people are in Hex,
like a few 100,000.
Yeah, there's not enough to go around. You can't get a part of an NFT.
Let's see, how many people like his tweets? About 1,000. I feel like those people will get the first 1,000.
Yeah, but you can buy more than one, so
then they might get them all.
Because he's gonna have a nightclub with multiple levels and stuff in Copenhagen.
So it's gonna be like entry.
What's that?
Is NFTs gonna be entry to those?
He's been really hinting at it though. He's like, all those things that the Bored Apes do. He's like, I'm gonna do it, but better, is what he says. Yeah. And so I'm like, I mean, it's not like buy the NFT to get into the thing. I think it may do very well. Yeah. I would love to hear more information from him on it, but
anything that guy launches, take my money meme.
It literally is that though. It's like, Richard, if you launch anything, I'm gonna have to buy it. I still do look into the things. Like I do think, like I have reasons behind why I pick certain things. It's not just because it's Richard, but Richard's really proven himself. So, I'm still gonna do the research. Yeah. It's because that guy puts a lot of effort into what he does launch, because he realizes people are messing around with their savings. He doesn't want to be known as the guy who wrecked everyone. He wants to be known as the guy who saved everyone, and he just wants respect for it. So I'm like, all right, make us all rich. Much respect, bro.
And he does crypto really, really, really well. So I feel like this NFT drop, whenever he does do it, it'll be well done, and it might even be a teaching experience for the entire space, similar to how Hex was. Like, oh, you should get audits for your contract. Oh, you should include caching. Oh, you should do like all this bitwise shifting, all this advanced stuff, like setting the standard for how crypto projects should be done. And him jumping to the NFT space, like I highly believe he might do that there too. And be like, yo, this is actually how you do crypto. Like some of these guys probably don't even know certain nuances you can do with these protocols like 721, 1155.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be fun to watch. I'm excited.
I am super excited. Is there any other topics that you want to talk about? Because I can come up with ones, but I don't want to just pick them all, you know?
Yeah, I mean, did we miss anything from our choppy audio stream that we should touch on? Like, touched on Vegas a
And we
little
got the
bit. We're gonna be there. Mintra
yeah, oh yeah,
Mesh,
we're
party,
both going to
Tonga.
be in Las Vegas. I don't think we said that. I think we talked about like the parties a little bit, but like we are going to be going. So hope if you
Yeah,
wanted to see us, we'll be there. So that'll be cool. I want to see everybody. Like I'm just excited to see Hexagons.
and
It was probably one of the best weeks of my life in Vegas
nice.
last was it last year? No, it was in March. What? Crypto is crazy. It was only like 6 months ago.
March. Yeah, but we already aged like 50 years, according to the comments.
Yeah. Yeah. That's no
Not fun.
joke.
But yeah, no,
Crazy.
I'll be there. You'll be there. A lot of people will be there. It'll be a good time.
Are
I felt
you
like I
are
wanted to
you
say.
are you planning on streaming more or making more
Yes.
videos?
Yes. I want to make
Is
a
that
comeback to you too.
nice? That's good.
Yeah.
We missed you. I think everyone kind of
Thanks, man.
takes breaks every now and then, so or they're just working on other stuff. It's not even necessarily a break for them. It's just different.
Yeah. It's whether it's you're busy, whether it's your mental health, whether it's your physical health, or you just want
Mm.
to just spend more time with people you care about, like whatever it is, like it's fine to go out for a little bit. 1 month in cryptos a year.
Valiant
Pretty
brand.
much. Pretty much.
It
And
literally is. Like
yeah.
there shouldn't be this much development this fast, but it is happening. Like there's just so much stuff happening in crypto. You can literally have like the next best thing created every few days is what it feels like. It's really crazy. Like we're just
So
creating money constantly, and that's what we do all day. And then we're just telling other people like, "Yo, you don't have to work for this terrible money that you're getting. Come get this other stuff to store your wealth in. Seems so much better."
our magic internet money is better than yours.
I can, dude. Oh, we could talk about the highest of stakes just for a little bit.
Ooh. I
I,
haven't seen their recent clips. Are they good?
oh, dude,
I need to watch
everything is
that.
good. You saw like the
Yeah.
first thing, and it's like, wait,
Yeah.
how good are these camera shots? Too good.
Well, they're
And
still using that same old trailer they've been using for months. The one that was filmed in Estonia with like low lighting. Apparently, there's like way more footage.
oh
I
yeah,
want to see a better trailer, man.
they
Come on.
did update it. They changed it. I think they
They
called it
did?
like the Sizzler reel or something, and they added
Oh,
like
okay.
more video clips in
I
certain
saw that
areas.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
All
really
right.
good. And RG3 says it's really good. He got to see it in premiere. Maybe Kinetics
Fuck
did
yeah.
as well. And Richard's also seen it, and he's like, it's
He said
good.
it's
It's
good.
like the only good crypto
Yeah.
movie. So yeah, and I saw this is like moon math or a joke, but some guy posted. I wish I knew his name because he should get the credit, but I don't remember. So they said Tiger King on Netflix got like 60 million views or watches or something. And so say we got half of that and got like 30 million, then if those people it was like how much would they buy if like
Mm-hmm.
1% of those people came in and it was like
300,000.
another I would I don't even have the math on me. But it was many multiples of how many users we have currently. So it was like several hundred thousand extra and you know what that does to price when you increase like Metcalfe's law, increase the amount of
Okay.
participants.
Yeah.
It's way more than just doubling price if you doubled the users. It's like 10x. So I thought that was pretty bullish. Like by the end of the year, we're gonna have this movie that gets a lot of people knowing who Richard Hart is and going down the rabbit hole. Even if a small percentage of people who watch it come into the ecosystem, it's got to be bullish for price, right? And it's also towards it's farther into the bear market at least, so they might be buying the
Mm-hmm.
bottom. And then we're gonna have an
Mm.
even larger force of people who are winning in this ecosystem to talk about it for the next 15 years. So it could be a big surge in notoriety.
That'd be insane, man.
Let's see.
Yeah, no, I did the math in my head real quick. You're right. 60 million views on Tiger King. Half of that's 30 million. Even if we do that, and 1% of people buy, that's 300,000 people.
Oh,
We have
300,000.
how many holders right now? Like 300,000. You double your user base. That's a 4x
Well,
via
yeah,
Metcalfe's law with some other coefficient. Like
there's
now
like 300.
yeah.
There's 300K holders. I think there's only 100K or 110K stakers. And so if the stakers goes up by 300K, that's 4x. So you're like, whoa, what the heck?
Then
You guys
again,
better have bought before then.
you're being conservative by using Metcalfe's law because you could say 300,000 people, $1,000 market buy each, $300 million of buy price.
Stop! Don't say words. Don't say words. Say that. What? 300 mil? We better cut the broadcast.
Been too bullish. Too bull. For real though, it's like
cinematic.
$1,000 market buy is pretty average for just like a normal, like an average participant. 300K people, 300.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I totally
liquidity
agree.
pool right now.
I totally agree that like getting into the movie-ish business and slipping in, useful information, because people, if they're watching a movie or whatever, they're more, I guess, it sounds bad, but I guess like susceptible to marketing, I would say. But yeah, we could be picking up a lot of new eyes for our project. That would be amazing.
It's true. We didn't even talk about Hex much, about the Hex price during the stream.
What is the Hex at? Is it at 4 cents?
Probably.
There we go. It's the bear market. Oh man, I thought like during seems the bear market. Oh, go ahead.
What do you think? You think it's a bear market or you think it's a crab market?
It's at least it's not the BART market. Oh my gosh, dude, 2017, 2018 when they were running those liquidity ignition bots that are like super illegal, that basically they jump up, liquidate everyone, range down again, and it looks like Bart Simpson's head because it goes
I remember those.
dead, and it just does that every direction. Didn't matter. That's what BitMEX was doing over and over, liquidating everybody, crushing everybody. Nobody was safe, except unless you were an exchange founder. It was super stupid. There was all these memes back in the day. Do not trade. You will lose all of your money. Don't do it. It's so bad. People just aren't patient. They're like, I put money in, and why is it down 10% today? They're like, what are you looking at the price for? You just bought it. It's like,
can the devs do something?
When moon. Like, I think of it as just a long-term savings account, and I don't look at it until, especially if you're staked, like, you're not going to emergency unstake, are you? So why even look if it's going to get you down? If it gets you excited, then look at it as much as you want. But if it's making your day worse, stop.
If you're staked, it's silly. You're probably just looking for a dopamine hit, and then in the bear market, it's not going to come unless it's like a fake out pump.
K4K's laugh, dude. I used to get in trouble in school for laughing too hard, I think. And like I had to, let's see, in like elementary school, I got in trouble for just like laughing at, I guess, people because they thought they took offense to it, but that was just my laugh.
Yeah,
I thought something was funny. I was like, aha, and then they were like, you gotta calm down your laugh, and I'm like, what? What is that?
Just start laughing at them.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh no,
it wasn't too bad.
Man, school just suppresses happiness, creativity, all sorts of things. Like
it does. It's such like and everyone else
try
is
to
like
standardize you.
Oof, yeah.
Try to turn you into gray goo.
Gray goo. Everyone's gray goo. Everyone go work in the factory. It's like, no, I don't. I know that's not a good endpoint. Like, I want people, like, sure, make your money however you can, whichever works best for you.
Yeah.
But move that into something that is better than like the bank, 0.1%. Like, oof, don't. And it's worse than that because inflation just wrecks you more. Especially this inflation. Like, what is it? 5 months and you'll lose like half your money now or something? Or
really?
So bad. Not 5 months.
Like, wait, hold on.
No, 5 years. 5 years.
Okay.
But clip it. I mean, don't clip it. Don't clip that one. Clip that out of the clip. There you go. But yeah, no,
5 months and
they're
like
10%. 10% inflation, dude. You can buy half the stuff in 5 years, and it's even worse if you keep it going. And I made this long thread the other day on Twitter just like going through like all my thoughts in my head, I was like, wow, I'm really typing too much on my phone right now, because I just like kept going with like all the reasons of why banks bad, why crypto great, and you should know about it. I just wish I could reach a larger audience, so I'm just like trying different things to try and grow it as much as possible, because I just think it's the best possible thing for each individual who gets involved. It's like Richard says in the highest of stakes reel. He's like, I just need people to participate. He's like, if you don't participate, you can't help the movement. You can't help yourself. You're just going to be stuck in the old system, getting wrecked on the daily. 10% inflation? We don't have that problem in Hex, do we? No, we don't. Our coins are on a specific schedule that you can check yourself, and it can't be changed. The Fed will just create money out of thin air and wreck you forever, like they have been for the past 100 years.
All you have to do is look at house prices, man. How much did your great grandma's house cost? 10K, 20K.
I think it was a couple raspberries they paid.
There you go. And now it's like
do not clip it,
100x, 1000x. Ridiculous, man. I think Richard posted something recently, like the dollar's losing its purchasing power, and just like straight down, and shows like little timeline.
Yeah, but imagine being in the euro, and I can see why Richard like posts about it so much, is because I'm sure he probably uses the euro somewhat over there if he's in Europe, because that lost like 50% of its value versus, or maybe it was 30% of its value versus the dollar, and the dollar is going down too. So you're like, oh, double wrecked, compound your wreckness, and then each fiat currency past euro that's like worse is just more worse off. They might actually be getting that metric I said earlier where they're losing half their value in 5 months. Like that's literally someone's life right now. Like I
estimated.
I feel so bad for those people, dude. Like people just living in like you just got born in a country that's less fortunate. That sucks. Like get into crypto if you have internet, please. Like get out of there is my hope for you.
One thing I will say, that the DXY looks very toppy. I don't know if you've looked at it, the dollar currency index. Like, hey, sure, it's been tearing it. Oh, that's right, I can.
Yeah, you can just add it, and I'll just click it, and it adds it.
There you go. Compound your erectness. Got some good quotes in the stream.
Oh wait, you added it? One sec. You want me to add it now? I can add it when you're ready. Poor Jacob, he's double wrecked. He lives in one of those countries, I guess, that's wrecked. Sucks. I don't want to say his country. I know where he lives, but I don't want to like dox him. So.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jacob.
You want me to add it?
Got some. Yeah.
All right.
Well, luckily crypto solves that, right? So wherever you're at, Jacob.
Ooh, dude, if you call the top on the day on the dollar, that could be you. You could be top on the day guy.
Actually, today looks. I don't know if I want to call the top on the day today, but you have this nasty like dragonfly doji looking fish, and then you have like divergence on the daily and the weekly. Like, bruh, triple divergence on the weekly. Get out of here.
Triple divergence? What do you mean? Explain, sir.
Okay. So you see how you have a high here, higher high, higher high? On the RSI, you have a high, a lower high, and then a lower high. So you have divergence going on. One of them is cooling down while the other one's making limper highs, already broke out of a parabolic run. So, I mean, we could just like chop.
Did they raise the rates again yet? They said they were. He said it was going to be like 50 to 75 or something. And he also said more pain coming. So,
well, this is the U.S. government bonds 2-year yield. So this is kind of like interest rates, I believe. Looks toppy as well. You also have divergence on the weekly, forming since February. So, and approaching this like long-term trend band.
It's
I don't know, man.
It's too bad Hex wasn't around when when they were trying to come up with like the central banking thing. Because like they did it to be more efficient, but it ended up becoming a monster problem. And now, since everybody denominates things like in dollars and in fiat currencies, it's just pervasive throughout the whole world, and so it's harder to get people to switch their thinking of like how it works. And so it's like so difficult to explain to people like, oh, the the interest you're earning at your bank is just from inflation. You get like nothing of it. Everybody else gets way more. You're wrecked by like you're getting diluted to nothing. And they
much.
don't understand that. Like you could like Richard says it like every episode, everything like all the time. But like, I think it just takes a certain amount of times before it breaks into people's minds. Because I'm sure like people tried to tell me or they knew about it and like talked about it early on in my life, and I just didn't get it until I
Yeah.
did. And then you're like, that's a problem. Like, whoa, that's bad. And like you
Yeah.
either get with the game and you realize you got to own assets, you got to own something
Yeah.
that goes up and
Definitely.
down with this. Because it's like Richard says, if all the prices of things go up together, you didn't really make anything. And if all the prices go down together, you didn't really lose anything. So if you
Unless
own
your
stuff
thing
that goes up and
outperformed the
down, you
other
can ride out the
thing.
volatility. But if you don't own stuff and you're just on
Oh.
fixed income, wrecked on wrecked on wrecked, and those people are the most desperate in need of help. And the Fed's like, we're just gonna steal your wealth away. You can't do anything about it. I mean, you can
Yeah.
buy crypto, but yeah, it's pretty bad.
They're trying to make that hard too now.
I know. Did you see that thing? I posted this thing about Canada where they're trying like is it Toronto, Quebec? I forget which sections of Canada, one of the territories or something. They're putting a 30K limit on what you can buy.
That is so bad.
30K? Like for some like as soon
On
as they put
anything
in
that
these numbers,
isn't
guys,
Bitcoin
then
or
they start
Ethereum.
wrenching it.
They said
As
on
soon as they
anything
get
that isn't Bitcoin or
what?
Ethereum. So they're like, you
Yeah.
can only buy Bitcoin, and they know that's the thing that can't pump that hard. They
That's
know
right.
those are the heaviest. So that's what you can buy the most of. They just don't want you to get the gains. You can't buy the low liquidity stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but some people were saying you can get around it by buying as much Bitcoin or Ethereum as you want, and then you just go to decentralized exchange and then buy as much hex on there as you want or something. And I was like, yeah, maybe, unless they think that you by doing that you're breaking their law, and then you're like in jail. So you're like, was it worth it being extra smart? Like, like, nobody wants to go to jail and be like the guy that they punish the super most to make an example out of. And so that's that scary chilling effect where you're getting
Yeah.
banned on places, and people stop talking about the truth that they want to express to other people to warn them or share, and then they just get silenced because they're afraid to speak out even if they think it's the truth. You have to like build your own platform, and then you get less reach. It just causes all these problems. We got to fix this money problem.
It causes a chilling effect. It causes just like crippling innovation.
Yeah, true. Yeah, less money coming into the space. And oh my, we didn't even talk about Tornado Cash. Oh,
We didn't know.
dude, it's so bad precedent. Because I don't even know if I want to talk about it because it's like I don't want to scare people.
So a smart contract is now an entity that can be on a sanctions list. Since when is that a thing? Like, when was that decided?
And like Richard talked about Tornado Cash being, it's decentralized. It works great. It's good. And then government's like, you know what? We don't like that contract. Remove it. And people are like, decentralized. It's not apparently, or it is, but people are too afraid of going to jail by providing like web like front ends and stuff, or using the contracts, and then you're just on a blacklist to the government. It's like, what? Why can't I have privacy? How am I supposed to pay people in crypto if they know all of my balance? It's like, what? And I know you can go. Well, go ahead.
These big corporations like Microsoft, what did they do? They just took down the developer's GitHub. What's his name? Roman Semenov, I think. Developer of Tornado Cash. Yeah. Tornado developer.
Oh, yeah, they took
GitHub just banned his account. Infura doesn't do RPC requests anymore to Tornado Cash. It's like, whoa.
And it's like, okay, if they can do it to that thing that gave you privacy potentially, why can't they do that to any contract on Ethereum and just be like, yeah, if you use it, you might go to jail. And then it's like, okay, now people, well, I don't want to get off track, but like if people, because that guy was working on like the privacy part of, he built Tornado Cash. And now, how many people do you think are excited to go work on privacy enabling coins or privacy enabled software? Oh no,
they're scared to innovate.
you can get sent to prison in like a black van and no one will know about. I guess it was announced in the news, so we know he's in there, but that's pretty bad that you you can just get sent off for writing code and putting it on the internet. Like you don't have free speech apparently in this realm. You're not allowed to write code and upload it to the world. So it's not even like they caught him doing transactions. That were they thought was laundering. It was like, we don't like that you built this and other people used it. Well, 99% of people use it for good. So you're just hurting everyone is what it's really doing. It's like criminals use cars too. They use toothbrushes. I think they use toilets. They use water. Do we ban it? No. It's it just seems it's so scary that they can just throw that out there like that. I wish there was like a faster response from like the crypto community with all of
Yeah.
our millions and billions to like lobby for
Yep.
protections on, or at least protecting our rights, at least in the digital realm. You know, I would love to see that coalition. I hope that's what BitBoy's working on, because he talks about big things he's working on. I hope it's not just like, oh, his own coin or something. That'd be lame.
We need that, man. And for people like you and me with the platform, I want to give us a piece of advice on Twitter. Oh, the day of the Tornado Cash sanctions, you can make a difference. I saw some politician. He was verified and everything. He was like, "I'm quite pleased at this decision," and a bunch of BS. And I was just like,
yeah,
he was running for senator, and I commented something along the lines of, privacy is a human right.
Yeah.
You're on the wrong side of history. We don't want you in our Senate. And bro, just because I have like 16K on Twitter, when you comment on something, all your followers will like see it and it'll pop up in their timeline. So that's all I said. And then like 3 or 4 Hexkins went in there and went in on him. He changed his mind in that thread, admitted defeat, and is open to learning more. So what I'm saying here is, you guys with a platform, even you guys with like small platforms, you don't think you have a lot of followers, we will see your stuff, people will see your stuff, and they can change the minds of those that are in power right now, whether that's through like beefing on Twitter, bro. Like, just let them know that they're wrong. That's it. Let them know. Like,
come in with like the facts and examples, and try not to just like, some people come in and they're like, you're stupid if you do this. It's like they're just going to block you off, and they're going to have a bad connotation with anyone associated with who you are. So if you're a Hexagon, go in with purpose, and you want to, help them understand your side and try and understand their side. Sometimes they have some insight as well, because I like, from their side and their point of view, it might open your mind as well. So I saw the guy you're talking about, was he a Californian senator guy?
I think so.
I think I saw that interaction.
You
Then
probably saw it, yeah.
Is he the guy who's also in the spaces a lot? Like, he just listens. Like, he's listened to Richard, and he's talked to a lot of Hexagons like in spaces, and at least the guy I'm thinking of, and he's a candidate. I don't know if he's gonna be the guy, but
I can't recall specifically. It might have been a different guy, honestly. But
Motley makes a good point here. He says, how can you arrest someone when they built something and the government declares it illegal after the fact? That is what happened, which is so horrible. I mean, they say that like before they tried to work with them to change the front end to block certain OFAC listed addresses. And then since it's a contract and you can just make your own front end, they were like, oh, you weren't able to stop these people, so now we're just going to declare it illegal and you go to jail. Like, what is that? He can only do so much. It's like he literally can't stop it. And why would he go to jail for that? It's never gonna.
It's similar to the, I guess it's a lighter version of the whole Ross Ulbricht situation with Silk Road, because he built this marketplace that facilitated like anonymous transactions where people paid in Bitcoin and received their drugs or whatever, and he went to jail, and sucks. And there's like a whole free Ross movement within the cypherpunk who believe like, he just wrote software at the end of the day. And this is even like a worse example, like literally not even facilitating the like physical, distribution of narcotics, but rather this was just like, oh, you facilitated money laundering, but you really just innovated by creating a privacy tool. So it's like, intentions matter, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
what?
And it's so bad. Like when you get into those conversations with people where they try to make you look like the bad guy for like thinking privacy is a good thing, and you're like, oh, do you have doors on your house? Why do you have doors? Why do you have locks? Who do you think you are having locks on your doors? I
Hey.
should be able to come in whenever I want. It's like,
Hey yo, give
no,
me
like,
your
come
bank
on.
info. Give me your
It's
bank login real quick.
Yeah, dude, give me your
Give me your
passwords. You don't
bank-
need those. Privacy, encryption, get that out of here. You know, there used to be I think there was a government law where there was like a limit on how much bit encryption you could have. It was like limited to a certain amount of like 256 bits for a while. I'm not sure if that's still going on, but
Wow.
like they try to like limit that stuff till they're like, all right, you can use it because we have a back door. Like that's when they allow it for the public. It's like that doesn't feel good. They don't want us to have privacy. They probably just don't want overthrown. Like if you were the government at the very, very top, you're like, well, it's pretty great up here. Don't want these other people making it worse for me. Like they're probably just trying to make it as hard as possible to dethrone them. Gerardo leaves CA in a hot air balloon at what? What is this? A math problem? Mount Hexerus. 25 miles per hour. K4K leaves East Coast speed at 95 miles per hour. Who walks hotel instead of Uber to save $15 in Vegas? Oh my gosh, this guy remembers that I walked from the airport to my where I was staying. That's so funny.
How far of a walk was that?
I think it was like an hour walk.
Nice. Got your steps in there.
It wasn't that bad. And I say that I
Nice
walked
walk.
from the airport, but really I got on a shuttle to the place where you can get a car because it was like free to get on that. So I got on that and then I walked from that place, which wasn't that far away from the airport. Because I think if you try and walk from the airport, at least I think it's like all highway. I don't know if you can walk out of there.
Yeah.
So I
Shuttle
was
out
like,
of
I
there.
don't want to get run over by a big truck.
Smarts.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I don't know if you want to touch on this chart at all anymore. Get rid of it in a sec, but can you even see my cursor right now?
Oh, I can. It's blinking a lot. Yeah.
Is it on the? Can YouTube see it?
Yeah. Oh.
All right, cool.
Well, yeah. If I can see it, they can.
All right, I bet. So this is when Hex launched, right here, and then
is this the dollar?
no, this is government 2-year yield, but similar, right, to DXY. But if you want to look at the dollar, Hex launched around over here-ish.
Oh wow.
So
well,
for
we
the
crashed
most
for a
part,
few months. Like, is this on the monthly scale or what is that?
weekly. So when DXY crashes or when this US government bonds 2-year yield crashes is usually accompanied by a crypto bull. And then this was the crypto top, actually, was like around here. So they're pretty inversely correlated, and we're pretty like it looks toppy for the dollar and for yield. So
hasn't the dollar gone like is this the highest like how's the highest the dollar ever been? Is it the highest?
Oh, it's
no, it's been higher. Okay.
No, it's been way higher, yeah. 162, 20, 109 right now. You can look at yearly candles if you want. They're yearly candles. Yeah, pretty overbought.
Man, dude, imagine if you had the ability to just like print as much money as you want and give it to your friends in the trillions.
That's kind of what they're doing, isn't it?
That? I can't believe people think that's okay. Like a group of we know that the wisdom of crowds is like better for market pricing and stuff like that, and for most things. And then we let like a group of unelected individuals decide the price of money like arbitrarily. They're like, yeah, we feel like this will do it. Like, what? How is that okay? Abolish this garbage. Get it out of here. It's like we can either play the game or try and like remove it and play some new game.
There you go.
Like I'm like okay, I guess, with like cryptocurrency kind of changed the whole game because like you used to have to wait years and years and years for your wealth to accumulate in the stock market, or you had to be very savvy with business. And now it's like, oh, crypto, we just kind of make our own rules for our money, and that's why it's so valuable because it's legit. Because everybody who gets in is kind of like immediately winning. So, yeah, I lost my train of thought.
No, you're good. It really speaks to Motley's last comment, which was kind of a thought baby I had in my head, which was
this one.
The government has forgotten that they're here to serve us, the people, and not the other way around. Yeah, that.
Oh yeah.
They lost the plot a long time ago, bro. They lost the plot.
Oh, man.
We can
And
remind them though. We're doing our best.
that's what we're trying to do. Like, I just feel like everyone. I'm so excited for everyone that I've gotten into like the sacrifice phases. Like, I'm super hyped for them and the rest of their lives. Like, I really feel
Yeah, same,
like
bro.
I think I made a tweet not too long ago. It feels like a long time because it's crypto. Several months ago, I was like, everybody. I just feel I like telling people about crypto because then I just get to have more rich friends in the future. You know.
There you go. Yeah, man, it's more fun like that.
I mean, that's just how it's the simplest thing. Literally anyone can do it. You don't need to know business. You don't need to know the stocks we don't have to wait 15 years for gains. If you can delay your gratification, you can win is basically how it is.
Like, if you care about someone, why would you not present them the opportunity to potentially never have to slave away in their life again? Like, that could be a literal life changer. Like, you might have just changed their life from this sad existence to like what life should be. Is that not a big deal? Like, it's a huge deal, in my opinion. So, yeah, tell the people you care about. Don't withhold information, and especially like during a bear, bro.
Yeah. People
Like,
don't want to talk about it
force a
now because
heck,
they're like,
bro.
well, since everyone thinks it's a scam, at least they won't think I'm involved with it if it stays down. It's like, dude, look at the chart. It goes
Right.
down and then it goes up and makes new all-time highs.
This is a
What
chart I
you doing?
particularly like a
What you doing?
lot. The Hex BTC chart. Oof, so good,
And,
man.
and the thing is, you don't have to put in a lot. It's not like, hey, switch your whole 401k in, although many people have. It's like you can people like if you got in at the bottom of Hex and you got out at the top, you made 10,000x. So put in $1, $10,000 in less than 2 years. it's so it's so silly. People who put in 100 are millionaires. People who put in 1,000 are multimillionaires.
Mm-hmm.
So it it seems like a no brainer, and I feel like this. I guess I think it comes down to people who don't trust it. You know, is usually what it comes down to. At least the people I
Yeah.
talk to about it, like or honestly, they don't want to do the steps of making an exchange account, or they've never wired money, something like that.
Yeah.
And then they just feel too weirded out, and they're like, oh, it's too much money too fast, and it's like, don't you want that? Don't you want that? Like, at least be more concerned about it or want to learn more. I feel, it's.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
And
onboarding. Yeah, go ahead.
it's about how bad you want it, man. Like, I don't know how many people you have already onboarded to the sack phases and how many people you have on the sidelines that are maybe still newer and want to buy because they don't have anything yet. In terms of like when PulseX launches, I know people who want to buy, and the people who actually take it seriously, they're like, they make the bank account, they set up the MetaMask,
Yeah.
they do it like because they care. But you're right, most people don't. Luckily, I surround myself with people who are like, yeah, that's all you need to do. Okay, let's do it today. Let's do it right now. Versus the people who are like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I
It's like,
mean, it's weird because like I still have some long-term friends, and I think it's
yeah,
that familiarity that makes it so like they're like, well, you're kind of in league with me, so like how could you know so much about this other thing? It's like, well, I don't tell you everything I do. Like it just surprises some people. If
yeah,
you're really close friends and they've known you for so
yeah,
long, they almost feel like there's no way you have unlocked something so great because then that would make them feel bad. But really, I'm just trying to help them with as much knowledge as I have. If they want to help me with as much knowledge as they have, I'll take it too. It's not like a one-way street
yeah,
where I'm just shouting at them.
yeah,
If they knew, like, if they were like, "Yo, dude, you can make, you can make this in 10 minutes," I'd be like, "Tell me how." But nobody's
yeah,
doing that. This is the best I've found is in a year or two, you can make life-changing wealth. That's what I found. And that seems fair enough
yeah,
to me, Any faster might be a little too crazy. But if it happens with Pulsechain and Pulsex, hey, I'm down.
yeah. I mean, I think maybe it comes down to like humility to learn, and I had another one. It was humility to learn at the same time. Like, fuck, it sounded so good in my head.
Oh, no worries.
Oh,
If
it was
it
such a
comes back
good.
to you,
It's
we'll
gonna be
give
a
you
great
there.
clip right there. Yeah.
This guy's asking with his Gmail picture he zoomed in on as his profile picture. How many X's can Pulsex do in the next peak bull?
uh,
I mean, if Hex did 10,000 X, it's It's interesting because I think the liquidity is going to be different, so we'll need like more money than like Hex did. Hex was really low liquidity early on, you know? Like you
But no
barely
one
needed.
knows how much liquidity is going to start for a Pulse and Pulse X.
Well, yeah, Pulse. Well, Pulse has like a lot of liquidity, in my opinion, because it has all
On
the liquidity
testnet,
that
yeah.
it has all the liquidity that ETH has at launch with the amount of token supply.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Because it's paired against every single thing, and then it does the it multiplies how much Ethereum's in there by how much more ratio wise
True.
Pulse is to the Ethereum, and then it's just paired with the added in PRC20s, so it should be
Right.
pretty thick, like liquidity.
Good point. That's a good
We're
point.
just wondering what the USD value is going to be.
Yeah.
So like once that gets in there, it's gonna be like, oh, who wants more dollars or Pulse X or Pulse? We don't know if we want more. Well, the thing is, with with Pulsechain, oh man,
Talk to me.
Pulsechain, Pulsechain has so much liquidity, dude. I did videos on it, and it almost is like FUD. But I'm thinking that we. I wonder if Richard's thinking this stuff out too, and that's why it's delayed or whatever. But
Wow.
because there's so much liquidity out there that it it may be harder to move the price than people hope in the start. But I do see it launching similar to how Ethereum went for its ICO,
Yeah.
where it just went 10x straight up from the beginning at launch. People traded their Bitcoin for it, and it never went below what they sacrificed. It dropped like 80 some percent from the 10x, and then it made new all-time highs like a 50x from that bottom. And I think it's the same thing with Pulsechain and similarly PulseX. I think PulseX is going to be way less liquid because the only liquidity that's going to be out there is what users who own PulseX from the sacrifice phase decide to put up, as opposed to Pulse, which has like all of this amount that's just provided by the AMM bot that mints extra that isn't owned by anyone. It's owned by an address that you can't expect anything from. But if they put a bunch of liquidity out there, like we're not earning those fees, that thing is, and it seems like there's supposed to be a lot. You'd have to watch my other video, I guess. I don't know the exact numbers right now because it was a while ago.
Got me thinking. Okay. I do see what you're talking about with PulseX specifically. How make sure my PulseX shield is not. So since it's a new coin, right? The only people who are getting PulseX are the people who sacrifice for PulseX. What you're saying is for Pulse, you're getting the sacrificers as well as all of the Ethereum being turned into Pulse.
That's right. That's the AMM bot
Right.
doing that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, first of all, like 1-to-1 Ethereum turns into Pulse on the Pulsechain side, and then you have the AMM bot come in, mint a bunch of Pulse,
Yeah, mints like
buy up
multiple percents of the total supply. Which,
supply.
when you know that the user-owned supply is only 10% of the total supply, you're like, okay, 2% of 10
Like
of
150
like that means
trillion,
it's 20% of the supply in liquidity pools
yeah.
already, and it's not like users put it there. So there's
But
like hundreds of millions of dollars.
but it's I think it's not necessarily. Hold on. Here. This is what's fucking
I
with
would
my brain
love
right
for
now.
this to be dispelled. I've never
Here, hear me out.
talked about
So
it that much.
so you have all these pools of like, let's say Hex Ethereum. Let's say the Hex Ethereum liquidity pool, right? Gets forked over. It becomes a Hex Pulse liquidity pool. A bunch of Pulse is minted. The Hex is bought up. So there's less Hex in there and a ton of Pulse, right? Like there's less of the PRC20s because they're all bought up, and there's going to be more Pulse in the liquidity pools because that was what the AMM bot minted buy up.
In Uniswap and SushiSwap, but in PulseX, it's going to have all of those PRC20s that it bought up, and then it's going to mint new Pulse, multiple percents of the supply, total supply, so several trillion. out of the 130 trillion or so.
For liquidity?
Yeah.
I thought that was just to buy up the coins.
But it has to pair it with the equal amount of pulse. So you end up putting all that bot stuff with the minted stuff over there, and it mints even more. But to pair them together equally to keep the ratio the same. And so there's like trillions of pulse. But we talked. Well, we might just end up releasing less. So like instead of deploying all of it, maybe less. So it's really up to how they decide to do it. So it's not set in stone yet. So, technically nothing's set in stone for Pulsechain, I guess. So they might do something different. But anyway, Pulsex has way less liquidity, just right off the bat, because it has none.
The PRC20s will be harvested. I still want to stick on this thought. I'm deep, man. You got me in this. I'm not getting out of this rabbit hole yet.
Are we gonna have to pull up my video? Because I totally
hear me out. So, so it'll buy up all the PRC20s, right? We don't necessarily know how much liquidity it's gonna. We know it's gonna do the same ratios, right? We want to keep the ratios the same, but ratios can be, 1/1 is the same ratio as 10,000 over 10,000. The ratios don't necessarily speak to the thickness of the liquidity, do they? So, man, that's tricky.
So it is my understanding that the bot comes in early or whatever, or before it's live for everyone else, and goes into Uniswap, SushiSwap, and all the liquidity there, it'll mint some pulse,
right,
to purchase up like 99% of the PRC20s.
Mm-hmm.
And so it fills it, and it actually doesn't take much because of the way, how AMMs work, where it only cares about the units and it doesn't care about like the value of the actual tokens. It only cares about the ratio. And so you really only have to put in like, I don't know, a couple, maybe 100,000 pulse or something to get 99% of the PRC20. And so you're like, oh, only 100,000 pulse. That was like $100 got you a million pulse. So you're like, oh, that's like nothing. But what it does is to keep that ratio it was at with the amount of, because what it bought that up out of Uniswap, right? And with a little bit of pulse that it minted, and then to keep that ratio of how there's so much pulse in there and a little bit of PRC20, because it has to leave some in the Uniswap. It takes that same ratio where there's 100,000 pulse over here, and there's like 1 hex or something. Mm-hmm. Then when it gets to PulseX, it keeps that same ratio, but it has all of the PRC20. And so you have to multiply by like 1,000 how much pulse there is, because the ratio on Uniswap is 100,000 to 1 hex, and now it's, and this is just made up numbers. I'm trying to use high numbers because it's high pulse versus the PRC20. And so it has to do it again over in the PulseX and mint 1,000 times the amount it did before over there in Uniswap to put enough pulse to equal the amount of PRC20 that it has, because it bought it up. I don't know if that explained it well, but
no, I see what you're saying. I just personally didn't know that there were going to be like, I didn't know, and I still don't know actually if this is the case of what you're saying is actually accurate. But you might be right actually about the minting more for the liquidity. Like, I was aware it's going to mint pulse 5 the PRC20s. I wasn't aware it was going to like mint even more extra pulse, keep that ratio, and then stick them in. It's the whole sticking the PRC20s into PulseX that I never really thought about, like the mechanics behind that. So you're actually making me think about that right now.
Yeah, the math works like this. So like if you have to get a million X, you just have to do 1,000 times 1,000.
Well, yeah.
And the way you get that is if you just look at like the hex ETH pair, you can pretty much guess what the hex pulse pair on Pulsechain is going to be by just 1,000 timesing the amount of ETH in there. And then that buys up 99% of the pool, because you 1,000 times it, so it's like going to buy 99.9% of the PRC20. And then there's that ratio in there. Whatever that ratio is, you have to multiply that again by another 1,000 for the Pulsechain, whenever it deploys it into Pulsex to pair it with all the PRC20 that it has, because it has 1,000 times more PRC20 than that other location. So you have to equal that out by minting more Pulse to pair up. So it really is a lot of liquidity, and it's not by the community. So
That's a great point. I hadn't thought about it that way. In that case, yeah, Pulsex might.
I bet my other video, I do I think I did it in Excel and just like showed how to do it. I'll probably like post it or something again.
I mean, yeah, you did the math right here on stream. It's like the hex ETH pair. I'm gonna round up. There's like 30 million hex and like 1,000 ETH.
Mm-hmm.
So after the fork, you're gonna have 30 million hex and 1,000 pulse. That doesn't make sense, right? Because there's a million X more pulse than ETH in terms of supply. So you're like, all right, so I have 30 million hex, 1,000 pulse. We need 1,000x the pulse side, and divide the other, which naturally divides the other side by 1,000 the way AMMs work. So instead of having 30 million hex, now you have 30,000 hex, and instead of having 1,000 ETH, now you have a million pulse. You have 30,000 hex backed by a million pulse. Whatever ratio that is
by
like
another
33 pulse per hex. There you go. And then you bought up how many oh my god, like almost all of the hex, like almost 30 million. And if you need to have that ratio of 30 million, like 33, then you get you have to print a billion pulse, basically.
That's right.
Yeah, quick math.
And that's just Hex, who has very low liquidity.
Yeah.
So if you look at the other ones, it all kind of adds up. I mean, my math worked out to be like, because Richard based it off of, he thought it would have to mint 2.5% or something.
Yeah.
But whenever I did my because I think he did that based on like wrapped Ethereum, and he figured that was in DeFi, so like that's how much is in the pools. But actually, majority of wrapped Ethereum is actually in like Compound, Aave, stuff that's like requires oracles or something. So like we can't even do much with that. And the rest of it, there's only around like 1% of the Ethereum supply in liquidity pools that their bot can probably get to buy up all the majority of the PRC20s. And so I think it's only going to be a 1% of the supply will be in the pools at the start, is my guess. I wish Richard would talk on it. I'd probably ask him about it. But yeah, that's more than Pulsex will have in liquidity pools, because we start with 0 in liquidity pools. You get to decide how much Pulsex you will sell, and I will not be selling any for a long time. I'll be buying.
All right. I just did some quick math in my head based on the numbers. I think for the the AMM bot will end up, based on the mechanics you described, will end up minting about 3 trillion pulse.
That's right.
For liquidity pools.
Now that's with his number. I think it's 1%, and so it should be like 1.3 trillion, but it's still a lot, because if you would tie a 10,000th of a dollar price point to that, you're like, oh, there's this much liquidity in Pulse already? Like, how many millions of dollars do we need to push this up? And so
then again, you could also say, well, now you have 2 different coins. You have Pulse, which might pump kind of slow, but on high liquidity where people can cash out without much slippage.
It's good for the airdrop people.
Well, yeah, and then you have Pulsex, which might pump harder, but then it's like, okay, maybe you can't cash out. Exactly, you can't cash out 10 mil, 100 mil without a freaking savage dump.
But what does Richard always say? Volatility is the price you pay for the best performing asset. So I'm down with volatility. I can ride it out. I can wait. I don't care if it goes down 95%. If it pumps 10 times or 100 times harder than other things whenever it does run up, like that's why we love Hex so much. Even if it drops 95%, we still wrecked Bitcoin. We still wrecked Ethereum, like in performance wise. So I'm okay with volatility. I like it's not like I want something with only $1,000 of liquidity. I want maybe a few millions or something. I think and people are gonna have so much access to their coins like right at the start. I think people who don't know what they're doing are gonna like provide liquidity and get wrecked. Because providing liquidity like at the start is like, sure, there might be a lot of volume, but you might get left behind on the wrong coin.
Market makers, liquidity providers do best in a sideways market.
Yeah.
right?
Not when things are exploding left and right. You're like, oh,
Exactly.
where do I go? Where do I? Yeah, you don't want to. Most people won't be liquidity farming properly, is my guess. I just like
Yeah.
Pulsex because you can just stake it, not risk it at all, and then earn other things while the price gets bought up by the exchange being used. And
Yeah.
another thing, all this stuff with Hedron, Icosa, and
What's
how
that?
they say there's like this, it should be able to get up to this B share value or something. And there's like arbitrage. Well, arbitrage sounds to me like volume. So unless they somehow do it through other contracts that don't go through PulseX or something to get the arbitrage opportunities, that should just be more volume for PulseX DEX, which just buys more PulseX all the time. So if you build more things that create extra buy pressure on PulseX, I am down with that. So yeah, I gotta get to answer these people questions real quick.
Yeah. A lot of people in chat.
What was sentiment like prior to Hex launch? Prior, I think we were all pretty much just like, we were pretty excited just about it launching, just waiting and stuff. But we also had nothing to really go on because he tried the CFD token and he talked to like that one scientist friend of his who was working on it, and it's really cool computational fluid dynamics, and he was going to make proof of work that actually wasn't wasting it. It was doing real computation. So you're actually not just wasting energy, you're doing stuff that people already were doing, but it was too complicated and used a lot of energy, more externalities. So then he went with Hex, and it was Bitcoin Hex, and it looked pretty good. And it wasn't. It's like who was talking about it before? They were talking about before the Hex launch, and I think they were right. I didn't notice, but they said there was like no FUD. I think it was dollar cost. There was like no FUD at all about Hex, and then as soon as it launched, article, people saying it's a scam, and I was like, I think that is how it was, because
Yeah.
there wasn't really much. People were like talking about it on like I used to be on 4chan posting stuff and for crypto and telling people about Hex because you could refer people early on.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that anyway, it wasn't as I don't even think we had to wait this long. I'm trying to think how long we waited for Hex.
2 years, I think.
2 years from when he talked
I
about
think
it the
so.
first time? Is that really
I
true?
only popped in like mid
No, he would have had to
2019.
talk about it in 2017 December or something.
He was talking
Or
about it on stage in Malta, wasn't he? What year was that? It was Bitcoin Hex
wouldn't that
for a
be
while.
2019 though?
Maybe actually. I don't know. That's what I heard. I heard people had to wait like 2 years, but that's just hearsay. I popped in like mid
I have to
2019.
check, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. We didn't have anything else of his to hold in the meantime.
Huh.
He didn't have any other coins. How would the
How would
MMBot handle a more exotic LP like the Hex Maxi pair? Oh yeah, that was also another concern about the bot, was like, how do we empty out ERC20 pairs?
I don't think you do. I think you just let them kind of figure their own ratios out via the routing, pulse routing.
Yeah, or you can get one side out most of it, depending on what it is. If one side's better than the other or something, I don't know, if they might just end up leaving it alone. Because
Yeah, you would leave it alone. You wouldn't want to change those ratios actually, because those supplies aren't getting changed.
That's true.
It's only pulse pairs that actually want to be changed.
Yeah, maybe they just won't mess with them. Just leave them.
There's really no need.
But the thing is, they'll be left in the Uniswap pairs. Is the problem that we ran into? Is like they stay in the other dexes, and you're like, well, do we want our coins over there? No, we want our coins in our dex.
Wouldn't it be up to the users then to pull their liquidity where nothing's happening, and go put it where stuff's happening?
Yeah, they can do that.
It's not like the
or
OA
the
can
bot
be extra hex now.
well, the thing is, like, the bot can print Pulse in order to buy, like, I guess Hex, and then it could pull out Maxi or something if it wanted to, but it just got kind of weird. But maybe you're right. They'll just leave it in the DEX, and the users have to pull it. That's kind of what happened with Uniswap V1 to V2 to V3. The users did it, and Richard says that's the best way. So, is that let the users do it.
Yeah, I can
if you
see that
build
happening.
if you build something better, the people will come to it. Like you don't have to have the centralized authority to force everyone to switch. Like that's a problem if you have that much power, I think. Good
I
question,
agree.
Jordan.
That is a
And,
phenomenal question, actually.
yeah, phenomenal. I think you're right, Gerardo. They might just leave that the same. Just because, like, who's to say like which side should get emptied if that even is possible?
Exactly.
But yeah, most of the liquidity will be on PulseX.
Okay, now I'm thinking.
Unless
Man, these
they,
questions make me think.
but yeah,
Because
yeah, I don't. How are you gonna get?
think about
That means
this.
to
What
get.
if when
Oh
all
man,
that
I'm thinking.
pulse is minted to buy up these PRC20s, is it going to be strictly the pulse PRC20 pair, or will there maybe be like some weird routing where like when pulse tries to buy up hex, it goes
Goes
pulse
through everying,
buys
like
up through
goes through
max
USB-C.
yeah, but it usually auto routes through optimal routing, so through thickest pairs. So I think exotics wouldn't have thickest liquidity. So it might not route through them.
I mean, I'm guessing they can write their own routing or something, and like just avoid them.
Which is true.
Because like Maxi doesn't have like any USD liquidity. I'm pretty sure it's like 700. It did like $700 of volume or something. And so like, how's it gonna get any of that
Aggregators.
through there? Anyway,
Aggregators, says Motley. That got me thinking about aggregators. Crypto Luck Box, you guys rock. Stream on my birthday. Cheers, bros. Happy birthday, Crypto Luck
whose
Box.
birthday? How am I missing everything? Oh, the text is so small over here. I need to find a way to get everything on my front monitors so I can look at the people instead of over here. But
I feel
yeah,
that.
in time, maybe I'll just put the monitor up there. Huh.
Dude, I've been thinking about that. There was
I
a
might be
stream Richard
doing
did.
it.
Richard did a stream where he was wearing these reflective glasses. Someone got a screenshot of like his office. He has like the monitor like on a wall kind of far from him. He's like way backed up. So like anytime he's talking to someone, he sees them on the screen like on the wall, like across from him. I like that. I like that. And he has his own monitor for his like charts and stuff.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely keeps his computer close and stuff for researching stuff on the fly. Dude is actually a genius. It's amazing.
A fact. I'm trying to get that set up going.
Thank you for the super chats, guys. Much appreciated. Yeah, what else was there? Yeah, that's why I'm more bullish on PulseX than Pulse, just liquidity wise. Maybe they figure out something that makes it not have to mint so much extra pulse. But the thing is, like, if we want to have the world's largest airdrop, you have to have the people who get the free PRC20s to get some value out of them, and so they can exit through Pulse. And they basically, I think of it as the way I was able to spin it in a good light. This is at launch there will be the second Pulsechain SAC phase where if you can actually buy some of the pulse that's available from that newly minted supply. So, but that's only like we said, like 1%, or technically it's like 10% of the user-owned supply.
Roughly, yeah.
And so they get access to possibly getting some of that. And sure, they can exit and
At
sell.
what rate, though?
They can sell and leave immediately and hurt the pulse price for a bit. But once those free claimer people are gone, or if they're like, because only one person, like one whale in each one of these ecosystems can basically dump and get like, I don't know, even like the whole SHIB thing. I looked it up. Like if a big whale in a SHIB gets pulse chain airdrop and they sell everything they had, like 100, I don't know how much there are, trillions or something, Doge or SHIB. I mean, they only get like 50K US dollars worth, like of pulse chain SAC at the base price or whatever of 10,000 to 1. And so it's like that's like a decent airdrop for a big whale, 50K, but like it might get their attention to be like, maybe there's something more to this, maybe I'll become a whale over here, maybe I'll buy up some of these coins instead of sell. So I think it's attractive to larger players because they see how much values like Richard's creating over there and like kind of giving. It kind of hurts the sacrificers, in my opinion, a little bit, because they're kind of giving away some pulse for free. But
at what rate, though?
At what rate?
Is it really free?
Well, yeah, if you have $10 million worth of SHIB, ERC20, And then Pulsechain launches. There's a SHIB pulse pool, and you just have a copy, and you just go, and then you can get out if you wanted. You could, yeah. So they didn't pay anything, right? And
to dump shit to Pulse, dump Pulse to what? To like stable, like get out?
yeah, like if they wanted to get to USDC or whatever. But yeah, if they just,
Well then,
they're only hurting the ratio at first whenever they trade it for Pulse. They're only hurting the ratio towards SHIB or whatever. But then when they sell the Pulse for something else, like, and leave the system, that's when it's bad. That's why it's really bad whenever like Ethereum Foundation and Vitalik sell the top on Ethereum and remove $50 million from like the ecosystem, because it's reflexive. As soon as a huge actual chunk of money leaves the system, it's like, oh, now there's less for us and the price is going down. And so it just kind of hurts the whole ecosystem when people remove to cash, or at least stable coins, I guess, the ratio.
At least there will be a lot of liquidity for that.
That's right.
To your point earlier, like there's enough liquidity to absorb the dump.
Calculations, hundreds of millions.
There you go. So people will be able to dump and not hurt the price too bad, I hope.
Yeah, I think it's just attractive, and it actually makes it so it is a good airdrop. People will be like, "Whoa, free stuff," and then they'll just start playing with it, and they're like, "Whoa, these transactions are fast and cheap."
There you go.
Like, what's this thing about? You know, and I'm really excited about. There's like I told Victor about this idea, and he created it in like a day. I was like so impressed. Victor, you know who Victor is? Yeah, the guy who like does like Rich Hart's designing websites. He's freepulse.io.
Yeah, I think I was the first one to interview him. Then everyone started interviewing them.
He's a really cool guy. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was just like a site you could tell people to go to once Pulsechain's out, where you just go there, you put your public address in, and then it'll tell you how much free airdrop in like dollar terms you have on Pulsechain. And so it's called prc20.com, and you just go there and you're like, put in I think you can connect your wallet, or you can you just paste your public address, no private key, don't like sign anything that looks weird. If you go to the wrong website, it's not my fault. And then it basically just it'll tell you exactly how much money you have waiting for you over on the Pulsechain. So it's like an easy onboard of like, no, you have Ethereum, right, buddy? And you hold SHIB? Oh, go to prc20s.com and see how much free money you have. He's like, what? prc20s, public address. Oh, well, there's $5,000 over there. What's this about? So I think that'll be a cool onboarding tool. It's like that we have all this stuff set up for this one date in the future, and we're just like building up more and more for it to explode. I feel like as we're waiting, like we're not just sitting on our laurels. We're all still making content. We're still working behind the scenes, building stuff, and we're just because we know it's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
Some of us are still making content, but yeah, I'm gonna check out that site. PRC20s. Get me the right link if you can, because I don't want to visit some random incorrect.
Yeah, I think it's prc20s.com. Let me check right now.
Do you have a Twitter?
Does it have a Twitter? Oh, that would be smart.
Yeah.
If it does, we better like tell him to lock it down, or someone on this stream, and give it to somebody. Oh boy, prc20s.com. Let me see if it.
Yeah, it's already someone already has prc20s.
It's prc20s.com. So letter P, letter R, letter C, 20, the number actual, and then an S.com, and then see how much free ERC20 copies on Pulsechain are worth. And you can actually do it right now, I think, and it works with testnet as far as I believe. So it's actually pretty cool, and it looks like you have huge gains because the prices on testnet are huge. Like Hex is like multiple dollars and stuff.
Let's see what this says. Oh, yep, that looks good.
You got a big airdrop, bro?
Looks good.
Nice.
Yeah. Hex is $3 on testnet.
Yeah. And the way they did testnet is the USDC. They had to just like peg it to $1. So like the PRC20 USDC is just $1, even though it's not really, because it's not really back. So like they had to do that. So it messes with the numbers a bit because there was no bridged in thing happening really with like there will be with real Pulsechain, where people will actually bridge in ERC20 stable coins, and that's how you get out to fiat. Well, actually, technically, any Ethereum thing that comes, any asset from Ethereum that gets bridged over is a way to exit to real dollars if there's no exchange that you can just send to. Like if it's not on Gemini, how are you going to get it back to dollars? Well, or Coinbase or something. You just have to trade whatever you have. Like if you're going to trade Pulse or PHEX or something for any Ethereum asset, once you have that, you bridge it out. You have it in your Ethereum wallet now, and then you can send that to either you can trade it on Ethereum Dex or something and get USDC, and then you can send that to your exchange account. That's how you get out. But I wouldn't do that the first day. There's so many people who are like, "Ooh, it's gonna crash first day." I mean, maybe if the airdrop people are like crazy about just selling or something, but I know so many people who are just they're like, "I didn't get enough during the sacrifice phase," and they're waiting to buy, or there's like funds I've heard of where they're not allowed to buy something that's worded like the sacrifice was because like they have obligations and documents they have to abide by, and so they can buy stuff that's like on the open market, but they can't buy something that says it's like you might get nothing. They can't put millions in. They can't put millions in thinking, oh, this is it. We have no legal recourse. Like they're like, I don't like that if they have millions and millions and millions of dollars. So
unless you're a child like Rackham.
Yeah. So like obviously the people who have done their research and are already hyper wealthy, they'll go big because they trust Richard, they understand. But the other firms or whatever who are less into the ecosystem, they have to wait for it to be a real thing. So that's buy pressure.
There you go.
And my other thought on this is, do you really think the whales who sacrificed in Pulsechain, PulseX, and stuff are going to let the price fall below where they bought so that another whale can come in and make their position? No.
I thought you were going to say, I thought you were going to say you really don't think those whales sacrificed back in July have been making more money? Like there's a reason they're whales. Do they have cash flow? There's a high likelihood they have more capital now. Like it's been almost a year. How many people don't make more money in a year? Like unless you're just not doing anything, you probably have more capital now. That's just a lot of pent up demand.
Yeah, people have been making money. That's a good point.
There you
along the way. And I don't think whales want other whales joining the system at a better rate than them. So they're going to buy it up and get more.
It's a good point. I don't think they'll let it go below, but I think there's a chance it will reach that level similar to Ethereum. Where because even myself,
like 41 cents or something, which is above the 30 cents. So
30% above. Although there was a wick to 15 cents.
Yeah, but wicks are like
on Kraken. Low liquidity
like
Kraken.
No one could catch. It's
true. Kraken is full of wicks, man. That's not even a legit spot.
I'm more caring about like
reference
closes and stuff for the
for sure.
The days and stuff. Like it's like if Bitcoin or say Hex went to 50 cents today and then went down to 5 cents again, would you be like, oh my god, I'm down 95, guys, I just lost 95% of my money? No, you're like, no, it
wish I had a limit order.
I mean, you're basically wishing you had a limit order. So maybe the smartest people will be setting limit orders on Pulsechain.
There you go. If there's a spot to do that, I think they're working on that for PulseX.
That is true. I have heard that.
I know PancakeSwap has it, and they're not a V3 fork. They're a V2 fork. There's a way to do it. Nice. And it's not like one-sided liquidity. It's actually called like limit. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, because one-sided is like, oh, and then it hits my bid again, and
manually remove it.
Because you have to build like a bot to do it yourself, because they don't just have it built into the system, which is unfortunate. But obviously, some people took advantage of that. There's all different ways that you can get ahead of everyone else in the ecosystem if you want to put in that effort. But I just like doing videos, I guess.
No, dude, you kill it. You kill it. Need more people. Like you said, we need more people participating, and it's content creators like yourself and like myself that help bring new eyeballs. You look physically similar. Please comment on.
Physically similar. I'm not going to comment on PulsePot. I feel bad even saying it. I just don't know anything about it, so I can't.
I think it was built by Felix Victor, maybe. I don't remember. I think don't. I think so.
They made
Don't quote me.
freepulse.io, which
I
is
made free
also
pulls,
a
Hex
thing.
Pink, KRC20s, do a bunch of cool things.
Yeah, and they had like the
Pulse
hot
hot
list.
list. There you
Yeah, I
go.
made a video on that. It was cool.
Sick.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that people are building, just
Yeah,
pumping it out. You even got your own project coming out, or is there?
I do.
Do you guys know when you're launching? When Pulsechain, like if Pulsechain came out tomorrow, how long until Mintra?
It's one of those things, dude. It's software. It's like, do we want to be done first? Yes. Do we want audits first? Yes. Do we want to be on public testnet first? Yes. Like there are steps. There are steps of these things.
No, that's
So if
important.
Pulsing launches tomorrow, sorry guys, you're not getting Mintra tomorrow. You're
That's okay.
getting it
I
when it's
think you
ready.
guys are way ahead of any other competition anyway. So
I think so, man.
yeah,
I think so.
I think you guys took the right initiative. You guys are months ahead if you've been working this whole time, hopefully. Because like it's a fast industry. Like people are out to get your lunch if you don't want it bad, you know.
It's true. My views are ass now. Like
Yeah.
My latest two got like 1,000 views, and I'm like used to like the 4 or 5, 10K, and I'm like, bro.
That's what I'm. Yeah, I think it's the bear market too.
I mean that, and it's just the YouTube algorithm doesn't like me because I disappeared for 3 months, so they want me probably back like on a consistent
That's true.
schedule. So like whatever. All right, guys.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really appreciate you reached out, and I was like, yes, well, let's do it. I thought you had disappeared. No, I'm just kidding. No, I know you're working so hard on it, so you can't do both like at the same time. Imagine doing. Are you going to try to do that? I guess. Are you transitioning to that? Yeah. Hey, if you can pull it off, more power to you. But yeah,
the lies I can see in his eyes. LMAO, can't look straight at the camera.
The lies. Oh, you. The eyes never
like,
lies.
What are you talking about, man? What lies? Maybe because I did shift the eyes when you were like, oh, I'm sure you've been working hard this full time. I'm just iffy about saying like I've been working because I like doing the whole RH thing. Like, yeah, I just have my thumb up my butt. Like, I'm just chilling.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
But yeah, people talk so much shit.
Yeah,
anyways,
I mean, it takes.
No, I'm trying to come back. When Hex was chilling at 3.6 cents, then it pumped to 7. I was pissed that I wasn't already back on YouTube because I want to make content at like, you know, what I think, again, not financial advice, what I think is a good spot, right? Yeah. I want to be making content there. So should I come back? I really think it's like the perfect time to be making content right now. I really do, man. And yeah, I was like, I can't wait. Did I miss the bottom? Did I miss that like accumulation zone? No, I don't think I did. Now we're back at 4. I think it's start making videos.
Yeah, I have some ideas too that I don't want to say them until I do them. So,
all right,
or at least have them fully finished. But yeah, there's lots of there's still more downside in the market. Richard's just hooting and hollering about 10K Bitcoin and pray. So 11K Bitcoin.
11K Bitcoin and pray. 11K and pray.
And so unless Hex does something crazy, like, and I'm not saying trade Hex and like buy lower or something, like literally don't, not recommending that. Because if Bitcoin drops in half, we know what that does to the rest of the market most of the time. There was that one time where Bitcoin fell on its face and got wrecked, and Hex did like 30x in that time, and that was like, what? And like I wish people made a bigger point of that, because that was pretty big back in the time. Like we're almost on our own cycle, is what it feels like. And a lot of people say like, oh, we're just waiting for Pulsechain. We'll never pump till Pulsechain. Well, it's like we're also in a universal bear market. Like nothing is doing insane right now. So people, you know, it's like the people pick up what they see in front of them and they run with it, even though it's might have nothing to do with what actually is affecting the price. Like the news comes out about something in some country, like, oh, China banned it, that's why the price went down. It's like, well, okay. You just kind of picked a news story and decided. So.
I mean, we are Hex is kind of on its own cycle. What I noticed was it seemed to decorrelate at bottoms and at tops, but during just general like runs, it seems to be like perfectly correlated. So I'll give an example. There was that first Hex dump after launch, then it rallied, and then we had the March 2020 dip. I don't even want to say the C word. That
don't do it.
Dipped, and Hex did a higher low. but Bitcoin and Ethereum did lower lows compared to the previous lows. So there was divergence there. It's like, oh, this thing did a higher low. That's interesting. While everything else like went to doom. And then on the tops, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum topped out first top May, second top November, and then Hex did it like in September, like somewhere in the middle of that. So like maybe bottoms and tops are where you see the decorrelation start happening. Like maybe Bitcoin and Ethereum have a higher low.
We're kind of close to a bottom and a top.
Yeah.
Where the So
like what if Bitcoin and Ethereum make a higher low and Hex makes or make a lower low and Hex makes a higher low, similar to like March 2020. I'm just looking at history. That's all I'm doing. Not saying it's guaranteed, but like it's in the charts. Look at the charts.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, it's just that it's so easy to get greedy at the bottom too, and people miss out because they don't dollar cost average. They're like waiting for the perfect point, and then the price doubles, and they're like, oh, it'll come back, and it doubles again. And they're like, crap. Like, do I just get in now? They get in, and it goes down. They're like, oh, I'm selling. It's gonna go lower. It goes higher, and then they're just out forever. That's literally how it will go. That's why you dollar cost average, even though it's very tempting at these lower price points, because obviously, like when you're at 4 cents and you go down 1 cent, that's like a 25% down move, or was that something like that, 25 or 33, not sure. And and you're like, well, if it dropped to 2 cents, that means I doubled my stack from if I were to buy then 4 cents. And so you're like, well, then if it drops to 1 cent, I 4x how much and the thing is that 4x or 2x, it carries on like forever. Like it like if you go up 100x from there, like from that from 4 cents, then if you got in at 1 cent, you 4 times that. So you actually go up 400x. And so it's like, oh man, I could get a 400x or a 100x if I get in now. But don't fall into that trap, okay? You want to dollar cost average. Then you get average good, average bad, and you're doing fine and you're in the market. The other strategies may leave you out of the market and you may miss everything. So that's what I say.
Like even if you start buying it like 20 cents, then 10, and then 5, and like dollar cost down, and your average is like 6, 7, whatever. Like you're not that far away from the bottom, Like sure, you might have gotten a 200x on the next run, you only get 100x. But wouldn't it be worse if you like waited until we were back at all-time highs and you only get like a 10x?
It's so funny that we like talk about 10x as like, oh man, could have had 100x, and it's like nobody else in any other industry talks like this. That's how you know you're in the winner circle.
You know what? You're right. We've normalized mad gains.
We have. We're spoiled. We're spoiled little hexagons, I guess.
And Antonio Miranda says K4K should launch a meme coin. The why Pulsex will outperform Inu.
Oh man, can coin names be that long?
Can they? That's a long ticker symbol.
The longest
ticker symbol world record.
Jacob's got it right. Dollar cost average and hold, you'll be rich.
There you go.
That's why. Oh, dude, it just feels. That's why. Because like even if every once in a while you read like a lame comment that makes you feel bad, you see a lot more good than bad. And you're like, if you are gonna make content, like you gotta have thick skin up in here, because I mean nobody's used to having like 100 people not like them, right? If you're just in normal everyday life, you do even know 100 people, and then it's like 100 people do not like you for whatever, like they just don't like you. And that's just the numbers of it, because it scales up as like a percentage of your following. So like if you have 100,000 people who follow you and 1% don't like you, guess 1,000 people hate you and you didn't do anything wrong. And so it's like you just kind of have to realize that that's the game, and you have to know deep down what you're doing is like for the greater good is how I go with it. Because like otherwise, like we don't have to make YouTube videos. We don't have to share all this. I didn't have to get editors to make awesome clips that help people learn the stuff with less attention span. Like, because I enjoy watching like Richard's streams hours and hours and hours. Because I just feel like it's like, oh my gosh, it's almost like reading a book but it's being read to me,
Mhm,
and it's amazing. It's like great knowledge, and knowledge is so much power in this world. Like the way you win a war is like knowing your enemy better than they know themselves. So like knowledge pretty much like conquers all. And so I I'm trying to give people the knowledge as best I can, and get them in with a 2-minute clip. Maybe they'll watch a 4-minute one later. Get them in, and I'm always looking for the most perfect video to get out there so I can be like, boom, this video, send it to this person, onboarded. This person, onboarded. Like that's how I'm trying to work up the magic of getting like the perfect video, I guess, or series of videos. That's kind of what I'm working towards, I guess, and then just growing the channel, stuff like that. It's
That's
hard to grow in the
smart.
bear market, but
Yeah.
I think it'll be a cool badge of honor when we're in the bull, and I'm like, I've been here since
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, so BitBoy in like 2019 had 10K subs.
Did he really?
Yes, he tweeted it out.
What?
Like it was crazy, dude. Yeah, I was like, wait, what? 10 bit.
So bull run, high production, consistency will get you to 1 million next cycle. Got it. Thanks for the alpha, bro.
Did you see his like studio and stuff?
Oh, it's sick.
When Rich, yeah, it was like people are in there. There's couches and stuff. I mean, I guess there's a couch.
I'm going for,
but
yeah. Back there.
Did you add that couch? I don't think that's always been there.
I did. Yeah, I did.
I noticed the shield, the couch. Is your guitar still there? Sideways?
Right there. Sideways. Yep. The heck, right there.
Oh, there you go. Nice. 3 shields. You must be getting attacked a lot.
I actually want more, man. I want a pulse one, and I want a look into hex one.
Ooh, like a big rainbow upside down on it?
Big ol' upside. It's an exponential curve rainbow. Everyone calls it upside down rainbow, but it's like funny.
Everyone, I've seen like 3 comments asking when K4K coin. It's like, dude, I mean, unless Richard starts doing something like wrong, this guy's already got it on lock, I mean, of course you can make more if you build your own coin and you do it well, but it comes with a lot of responsibility and risk as well. So it's do I want to hire developers? Do I want to go deeper than I've ever gone? It's like I also want to live my life too, I don't if Richard's doing all the work for us, all you got to do is pay attention. That's what I'll say. Like it's if you want to put in all that work, you can do it. Like I don't think it's necessary with what we've got. Maybe in a few years.
What's missing? What's missing in crypto? Like a good stable coin, because USDC meh, USDT meh. DAI is okay, backed a lot by both of those two, so it's kind of meh. So I don't know. DAI's all right. It's good stable. Tornado Cash got kind of wrecked, although we already have that. So I don't know if you want to reinvent.
We need to fix like the
that's more a
political
legislative
realm.
thing.
We need
that's
political stability, and it's like nobody wants to do that, and it's like, but the thing is, like, if nobody wants to do it, then there's opportunity there as well. Because like, imagine, say if someone was like, "Yo, I have the credentials to I could become the president one day or something," and they're in the X community or something. That's probably Richard. Or president or a public official in an important place, if they're like, yo, let's campaign for this, I'm sure Hexicans would support them, and that maybe they make a big difference that can affect everyone. It's just that it's one of those processes that it's not as glittery and fun as new coin, buy it, oh, see you later.
Yeah, right. It's the dirty stuff. It's like I really believe that most of the people who should be in politics are of the type of personality that usually end up doing more important like things that actually help humanity.
Well, they do stuff in the private sector.
I think like Elon Musk, Gary Vee, Richard Hart, I think these are like operators. I think these are fucking would kill it as executives leading a country as a president. But they go more for the stuff that's like legacy.
Well, they won't get to live their life the same way. Is the problem?
And
it's like you give up so much, and it's so much stress. Like you got Secret Service around you all the time. Can't be hanging out at clubs and stuff. Like you're living a different life, and if you're not living forever, you only have so much time for certain experiences. So Do you want your experience
True.
to be followed by FBI guys and being a top wanted dead person in the world? No.
Damn.
Like being a public official is not always cracked up to be, and it doesn't help
I
that
agree.
it attracts almost the most corrupt in a way, because
It does. Yeah.
before crypto,
Power,
that's
dude.
the best way to get ahead, other than build a business legally and do all that, is to get as close to the money spigot as possible. And so you're just like, oh, I'll just become friends with bankers and become a banker myself, and then just perpetuate this thing that only helps the few, whereas crypto helps everyone, and everyone who participates wins, and anyone can join. And that's what I like crypto for. Is it makes it fair for anyone. Like you don't need almost like any experience. If you can log into a computer, you're halfway there.
Pretty much.
And the rest of
Someone
it is
says-
just provide value to people, and you'll get value in return.
Law
What
of
do you-
reciprocity.
what-
What's
Let it
up?
cut
I
you.
have a little Mintra. I've been trying to stake. Tried several times. Keep failing. Any ideas? Thanks. Yeah, make sure you have the right contract address. We deployed the Mint token on testnet, and then we actually redeployed it as T Mint, like a test mint, second version with a full feature set. Like now it's actually a burnable token, so that supply can go down over time. Little things like that. We're still on testnet, but make sure you have the right contract address. Go to mintra.info, and that should have the correct contract address. That's the one that's stakeable in our staking app right now.
So you guys
But,
actually have stuff you can do on the testnet on
Yeah,
Pulsechain right now?
yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just saying earlier, like, oh, we got to do the Pulsechain testnet. I figured you hadn't done it yet, but you guys already have that.
Okay. The coin, it's on testnet. It works. The staking app where you stake it, it works, except there's no marketplace to actually create the volume for yield, right? So just
Okay.
like you're staked, but you're receiving nothing from an empty address because there's no volume. But it works. It was my point. Like,
are you guys able to drive
contracts work.
any volume through it if you wanted to? Like,
we
could
would just
you?
have to send pulse manually to an address, which we did for a little bit to make sure it works, and it's like distributing, and it did work. But you only have so much test pulse to play with.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so sad because I had like when I redid my computer
Yeah.
setup, I had just like a basic, like not related to any of my own wallets or whatever, separate computer and everything, and I was doing like test. Well, there was a guy who wanted to send me test pulse, and he had like a bunch from the sacrifice, or not? Sacrifice. So he had a bunch of pulse. Because obviously, guys, be wary of what you do with your sacrifice address. If you're posting stuff from, even if it's a test net, and you're using your like sacrifice address and
Same
you're posting
address.
stuff, it's still your ETH address too. So you're just doxing yourself instantly. Like, don't do that, guys. And anyway, he sent me like 1 billion pulse or something. I was like, yo, and so I had all this stuff, but it
Bro.
was only it was like in this wallet that's not available anymore, so I can't get to it. I didn't keep the seed words.
Bro. G shit.
Feels bad, man. Otherwise, I would have sent you like as much as you needed.
Someone said I'm the spitting image of Tupac Shakur.
Looks it up.
I do not like Tupac. What are you talking about?
I think that guy's trolling because he also said I looked like Barack Obama. So
Oh, got it.
yeah, I wouldn't
Verified
fall for that
troll.
one. But yeah, is there anything else you wanted to talk about, or we want to wrap it up? I'm down to talk about anything, but
I think we're good.
what else?
I mean, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Mintra token live, staking app live, marketplace, actual marketplace, beta. That's what we're waiting on, right? So people can go play, mint NFTs, buy, sell, trade, whatever, view their profiles, auction, all that good stuff. And then after that, we're chilling. You need to look Tupac up. I don't remember what he looks like in my head. Trolls. They said I was the Undertaker. Funny, but yeah. See y'all in Vegas.
Let's talk about Vegas a little bit. Like, what all do you know is going on? Are you participating at most things? I mean, I think most people are.
Golf tournament. I'll probably be there. Let me pull my notes. Be there. See, golf tournament. I'll be there. Pool party. Be there. Power City party. I'm there.
Oh yeah, wait.
Penthouse
How do you get
party.
in? I have a question. How do you get into the pool party and Power City party? For those that at home that don't know how, not because I don't know. Yeah. Go ahead, Gerardo.
So for the golf thing,
those ones you can buy tickets at the. I asked her if you can just buy them when you get there, and she said you can, But you can
Yeah,
also
there you go.
buy them ahead of time. KSB.TV.
There you
I don't
go,
know if that's
there you
a website or, but anyway, you can just buy them when you get there, so don't worry about it. I would say.
For the pool party, I think it's CZ who's taking care of that. She's also doing a. Wait, is that her? Taking care of the fashion show as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's doing like a fashion show pool party.
I'm in the fashion show, dude.
You are?
I'm a model.
Nice.
I was in the middle of a long cross-country drive when I was asked if I wanted to be a model at Pulsecon, and I was like, sure. And then they were like, really went with it, and they added me in, and so I'm like gonna be wearing some cool merch by Suzanne with like Swarovski crystals all over it and stuff like that. So it'll be really cool merch that people can see. She does a really good job with that stuff. I think it looks really freaking cool. And so I'll be in it, even though I've never done anything like it in my life.
Nice. I think she reached out to put me in that as well. I don't know if I'm locked in yet, but
dude, you should get in. Get in.
Should I do it?
Yeah.
Right, I'll hit her out real quick. If you're watching CZ, add me to the roster.
Yeah, but what about the pool party? Can anybody come to that, or?
That's her as well, so you probably have to reach out. I think I bought a ticket actually.
Yeah, I'm thinking you should buy a ticket, so I want to get one before they're gone.
Or whatever. Reach out to her. They're live actually right now. It says Hex Huddle. KSB TV's live now with CZ Hex King and GRC and others. Yeah, go to GRC's. Perfect timing. Go check them out. Power City stuff. I forgot how I got in, honestly, but I think I have a ticket.
I think they gave tickets to everyone who bought an original PulseCon ticket, but I actually never did. So because like I was, the reason I didn't was there was so much like behind the scenes stuff that like I felt there was no reason to buy one early is what I felt. So I was like, I'll just wait. You never know what's going to come up, and so I just waited.
True.
Smart. So like, there's no reason to buy it 6 months ahead of time. So I was just like, they're like, you can save $50 if you buy 6 months ahead of time. It's like, I'd rather have $600 working for me this whole time, as opposed to in this ticket sale that you never know if it's going to happen. It ended up not happening, so I'm kind of the super winner out of that. Pretty happy, but now I don't know if I'm getting into the Power City thing, so I'm curious about.
You're getting in. You're getting in. Motley just sent you a ticket.
Oh, thank you, Motley. This guy's the best. Everyone should follow Motley Investor. He needs like at least 20K more subs as a start.
Hell yeah, man. But yeah, arguably the last but not least, freaking mansion party Thursday, Naga. I'll be there.
So excited.
But I have to hop off, bro. I have a meeting in like 2 minutes.
Thanks
for having me on.
Oh my, that's what I remembered. I also have a meeting. Not even gonna lie. Yeah, I gotta work with my editor guys. So, hey, it was good talking to you. I'm glad you're making content again.
You're back.
Looking forward to seeing you in Vegas and everybody else.
See y'all in Vegas.
See ya.